up, and welcome back to the Section 10 podcast, episode 505, presented by Underdog Fantasy. It is the home of your 75 and 75 third place Boston Red Sox. My name is Gerrit Cole, and I am a certified G and a bona fide stud, and you can't teach that. And this right here, this is Coley Mick, and he's 7 foot tall, and you can't teach that. And this right here, this is Tyler Milliken, and he killed his dog Bullet, and you can't teach that. Bada boom, realest guys in the room. Steve, how you doing?
Ooh, what up, Section 10 in the building?
In the mother fucking building. Presented by Blue Moon.
Suck one.
Produced by Jake Yazzie.
Fuck yeah.
I pissed my bed.
What?
What a way to start.
No context, no excuses, just simply
I feel like we have all the context. He was in his bed, he went pee-pee. That's the context.
There's excuses where it can happen and not be your
Obviously
fault.
not. He's suspended. Clearly there was no excuse for this kind of behavior.
Was your girlfriend in the bed, Jared? That is my biggest question at the moment.
You can't.
Okay.
Oh.
She was fucking stoked.
What was it, yellow instead of white?
Hold on. We need to talk about this because I don't think.
Yeah, we got to address this. Let's get to the bottom of this.
Because this has to do with Dan Perrault too. This all ties back to Dan Perrault. All right, hear me out. So I don't think I pissed the bed. I pissed.
Dan did.
Dan peed in my bed. So hear me out.
I pissed in. I was sleeping on my back. And I pissed my boxers, but none of it got in or on the bed. So I pissed while I was in the bed, but if no piss gets in the bed, then you didn't piss the bed is my argument. I pissed my boxers a little bit, but I didn't piss the bed. Coley?
Straight, like, are we talking boxer briefs or boxers?
They're like Calvin Klein boxers, but they're pretty tight. They're not boxer briefs, but they're boxers. No pee got on the bed. I'm telling you right now.
Okay.
I was in bed. Tyler?
What was the reaction with the other person in your bed? Did they hear you pissing and wake you up?
All right, so here's what happened.
was in the bed, clearly.
Here's what happened.
Okay,
Here's what happened. So I was having a dream that I like killed two people. I killed two people, right?
Did you know them?
And no, I don't think so. Killed two people, and then I was like, man, like I think I'm gonna get away with this. Like no one knows that it's me. And then I see on the news, and they're like, we think it's Gerrit Cole. And I was like, fuck. God damn it.
It's never been more over.
So then my first thought was, all right, if I'm caught, then it'll be very funny if I get arrested and they pull me out on TV and I'm wearing a Dan Perrault t-shirt. So that was the tie-in. So
Hilarious.
I was like, hilarious bit.
So
Classic
funny, I
Dan
pissed
Perrault
myself
shirt
laughing.
bit. Yeah, everyone expects it.
I was like, all right, I'm getting arrested for murder. But when they drag me out like the Aaron Hernandez with like the arms and the white t-shirt thing, only I'll be wearing a t-shirt with Dan Perrault's face on it. People will think it's hilarious. And then I was in a bathroom stall and I started to pee, and then I woke up and I was like, no way. And I was like sitting there being like, it's a little wet, but like, there's no way. Like, I'm imagining this, felt it, pissed myself. But it didn't get in the bed. So I don't think I pissed my bed. I think I pissed my boxers. Coley.
Did you change the sheets?
No, there was no pee on it.
Yeah, dude, I gotta get you out of here.
No, you don't. No, that doesn't make sense. Like
it's
a principle thing.
No, Coley,
you pissed on the bed.
Coley, if your nipples were sweating, would you take your jacket to the cleaner? You'd be like, no, it didn't touch. It touched the t-shirt.
I don't know that we can equate sweat to pee-pee.
I don't know. I don't think so. I think Jake, what do you think?
Sweat and piss. I don't got them in the same ballpark.
No, I agree, but I'm just saying, like, I didn't pee the bed. I peed my boxers. Coley?
Oh, come on.
If you had pooped your pants, obviously poop's very, very contained. It stays in the boxers.
Not
is this what you're going to
always.
say?
This is my take.
No,
this is my
no.
shit take.
No, Steve.
Steve?
I just wanted to see if you'd call on me before. Tyler.
Yeah.
No, of course you would.
There you go.
Yeah, call it.
So if you had pooped your pants,
Yeah.
obviously that's pretty self-contained. So would you have changed your sheets in that scenario?
I think you have to. Yeah, I think
You
you
can't
have
just
to.
well, you can't then sleep in the poop. Like you can't.
No,
At least the pee
no.
dries out. The poop is gonna stink as long
Yeah.
as it's in there.
Yeah. Anyway, all right, whatever. I pissed my pants. Dan Perrault. All
I like
that.
how you're now saying this like we made you talk about it. Like,
All
okay,
right.
guys, stop bringing
enough,
this up.
enough questions.
Enough.
All right. Underdog Fantasy is the easiest place to play fantasy sports, brother. Playing their pick'em game is as simple as selecting higher or lower on player stats, strikeouts, total bases, home runs, and so much more. Make entries of all baseball, or you can mix and match across your other favorite sports. You can win up to 100 times your money, and it's a ton of fun. Cole, you mixed and matched across all your favorite sports today, didn't you?
Oh, yeah. I mean, it was more yesterday with college football. With pro football, I like to keep business. Not a great day. Not a great weekend for the McMahon.
Yeah, that sucks. I feel bad for you, but I know that you signed up with the promo code Jared, and that's what everyone else here is going to do. Sign up with the promo code Jared, Jared, and you get up to $1,000 in bonus cash and a special pick on Underdog. That's Underdog Fantasy promo code Jared. Listen, I'm going to leave it up to the people. There's obviously going to be a debate about this. Did Jared piss the bed or did he piss his boxers? It's a little bit of both. And I just want everyone that's, debating this to have the full context. There was no pee in the bed. It was just like, it was almost like my wiener just did like, but it was pee. Coley?
What is everyone sleeps differently for the most part. So what is your bed setup? Obviously we got bottom sheet.
It's your bed. I pissed your bed, Coley.
Rude.
Yeah.
Ruder.
Well, why are you confused, Steve? The guest room at my house, which is where we've been sleeping because they're working on upstairs.
Oh, I didn't know they're working upstairs. Okay.
Yeah, they're working on upstairs. So we are in the guest bed, which is Coley's bed. So I actually peed Coley's bed.
You peed Coley's bed thinking about Dan Perrault, and the pee stayed in the boxers and didn't get on the sheets.
Yep.
Yeah. But like you said you were laying on your back, which I think is an important detail.
Uh-huh.
What was on top of you?
Probably just the sheet, I guess.
Oh, did the top sheet get pee? That's a fair
No.
question.
I checked.
That's kind of impressive.
I checked.
Wait, how did the
I
top
checked.
sheet not get pee if the
I
top
don't know.
boxers got pee?
I don't know, dude. I think
Did your butt get pee, by the way? If
no butt
did it
pee.
go
No
down to your butt?
there's no butt pee. No, I swear. No, it was just a couple of dabs. It was just like if you took an iodine droplet and you went.
So you think you caught it like early going pee in your dream? Okay.
Yep.
And you were like, oh no way, and then woke up.
Yeah,
that was a real pee.
I didn't take a full pee in my pants.
We're sure it was pee.
That's what I was saying.
I didn't
That'd
shit
be a
out
little
my
weird.
dick,
No,
dude.
I know what he's
I'm
saying. I know what he's saying.
People
That'd be a
have
little
wet
weird.
dreams before. Everyone has them
I'm
sometimes.
just
Oh,
saying,
you're
based on the
talking
topic,
semen.
that'd be
Yeah,
a little
did you
bit.
not?
You think it was semen?
Did you come?
Jessam.
You think it was semen?
You think getting
no.
arrested like got him off? Is that what we're getting at
That
here?
would have been a
Dan
great
Perrault
excuse.
was involved with the
Dan
dream.
Perrault,
You never
yeah.
know.
Mix,
Number one
yeah.
Perrault. That's fair.
Yep. Oh, so speaking of the Perrault family,
Now that we're on the topic.
now that we're on the topic of the Perrault family,
Thank you for reminding me.
thank you for reminding me. There was a Section 10 listener at Section 10 night that sat behind your family, Steve.
Okay.
Reached out to me to let me know to please consider your father for Perrault of the week, and because he's like, I ended up talking to Steve's dad.
Yeah.
He's like I met and talked to Steve's dad for like 4 innings. He was the man, so consider him for Perrault of the week.
Yeah, this was a passionate Section 10 listener. It was the first game he had ever been to.
Oh, wow.
And when my dad is at the ball game, if you're around him, you're going to be tapped on the shoulder. You're going to be hearing his thoughts on the entire game. You're going to be hearing his thoughts on the Celtics, probably. Like,
Mr.
he's going to
Perrault's
give you thoughts
thoughts
that have nothing to do with the Red Sox game going on in front of you. So he was talking to this guy the entire game, and I got a DM from this dude afterwards to be like, hey, just want to let you know, please tell your dad that he made my first time at Fenway Park 100 times better. And I did tell him, and his face lit up, so I think that is Perrault of the week worthy.
Yeah, but we actually just got the results in here. Dan Perrault of the week for 61 straight weeks. came down to the wire on this one. Came down to the wire. Mr. Perrault came in and had a hell of a week. It was a hell of a week. But 61 consecutive weeks at the top of the charts. Dan Perrault, the best Perrault. Steve?
I got to say something real quick, though, and I want you to consider this. You didn't have this information before, so please let me know if this changes your mind.
Well, I don't vote on this.
Well, who votes, by the way?
There's a lot of people. Yeah.
Okay. It would be hard to count
world
them.
Leaders. It's world leaders.
Who's the top one that votes on this? Top
South
world leader?
Korea. The world leader from South Korea votes on. I mean,
who's that?
Shut up, dude. Like, who cares what his fucking name is? Like, he loves your family. Like, now you're gonna be like, oh, what's his name? I want to look. What, you want to look him up to see if he really loves your family?
Yeah. Once the Perraults know who's voting, you can get in these guys' pockets.
I've already said too much. Honestly,
Yoon Suk Yeol, is that who it is? I think that's who it is.
Yeah.
The thing I wanted to say real quick though, it was my mom's semi-retirement party on Friday. Does she get some votes for that?
No, that means that she's giving up, right?
Yeah, she's just called it quits. Yeah, that's true.
I mean, unless, does she have any retirement plans?
No, she's like the most unretired person ever, just like Alan Perrault. They still work. They still work. That's what that means.
Your mom's retired, but she works?
Yeah, kind of, sort of. Yeah, does a lot of counseling, school counseling, guidance counselor type stuff. Yeah.
Coley?
Did you just call her Ellen Perrault?
Alan.
No, Alan Perrault's my dad.
Alan. Gotcha. Yeah. Okay. I thought you were combining Ellen with the Perraults. Which, if Ellen were a Perrault, Dan would have some serious competition.
That's true. Tyler, and I'm a little worried about this. Tyler?
Steve, can you just say your mom's name so I can picture her?
Oh, God.
What? No! Get the fuck out of here.
You get weirder every show.
What do you mean picture her? She was
what are you talking about?
She was in Worcester and at Section 10 night. What do you have to
Don't
picture?
remind them.
What's your deal? Yo, what's your deal with our moms? You said that Ellen was giving it to you at Section 10 night.
What?
Yeah. What's her name so I can write it on my pillow?
Yeah. I want to picture her. That's
Tyler.
crazy. Steve, does your super nice, wonderful mom listen to this podcast? Probably
no,
not.
she doesn't
like
because of the
it was for the
language.
people.
By the way, Gerrit,
yeah,
my mom has said very nice things about you. She said, I had a great conversation with Gerrit and it went really
Worcester,
well.
Yes.
In Worcester, yeah. There you go.
She's a lovely woman. She's very nice, and I totally understand why she doesn't listen. She's an angel. She's a wholesome woman. Yeah. And it's really Tyler's fault why she doesn't listen. It's
based off of what you just said, Tyler, she didn't want to hear
exactly.
that.
Yeah, all the crass.
I don't think I was ever formally introduced, if I recall correctly.
That's for a reason.
I don't think we had a moment.
Yeah, we kept her away from you. Yeah,
understandable.
Did you meet
the
my
worst
mom,
introduction guy on the show too, Tyler Milliken.
I've heard that a lot. That is a flaw in my game, unfortunately. But me and Ellen are tight.
No.
We're cool.
Yeah, you're cool.
Bad in introductions or bad at giving them? Is that what we're talking about here?
Probably both. I wouldn't know because he's never given one.
I kind of just show up with people and expect everyone to know who they are for some reason, and that's just
a crazy move.
Not going about it.
Yeah, piss myself. Perrault Family is awesome.
And Red Sox lose 2-1.
Yeah, Red Sox. Yeah. Hell of a series. I think it should have been 3 out of 4 for the Red Sox.
Coley, it's your
most
time.
of the season.
Yeah,
Coley nailed this.
What did Coley say?
He predicted the series exactly.
Oh yeah. He's yeah. Well, it should have been 3 out of 4 for the Red Sox. Going back to what I said earlier. This was 3 out of 4 for the Sox. I'll take the L today. That's fair. But first 3 games of this series should have been wins for the Boston Red Sox.
1000%. That's like I said, you could have said that for most of the season. It's been self-inflicted wounds from opening day till today. It's not been outright getting stomped. Like the Rockies, weirdly enough, are the only team that's taken them to the woodshed. Diamondbacks a little bit, but most of these
D-backs
losses,
a lot of it. D-backs
for
a lot
sure.
of it.
But most of these losses all year long have just been like very like, oh, we're up in the 8th, don't want this one, and then they lose. Like it's been very frustrating.
Yeah, I love Aaron Judge, but both home runs that he hit in this series were dick balls. Just,
honestly, it would have been bad if he didn't hit a homer.
He didn't homer in 3 weeks.
Yeah, I mean, they put it on a tee for him both times. The fucking both Glaber home runs were, 300 feet maybe. Like, they're not getting out of most high school fields in California and Texas.
Hey, let's not do that. Trevor Story hit one of those.
I didn't say it.
I know Coley was happy when you just said that, though.
I'm never happy that my team.
I was talking about Glaber. Let's stick to Glaber, all right?
We're Glabering.
Both of his home runs were dinky home runs. Yeah, I don't know. Like, what do you guys want to do? Do you guys want to go game by game? Do you
really
want to
just
go,
the Cole thing? That's all I really want to talk about, honestly.
We're going to do a very expansive conversation on the Cole thing because it's very layered. But I want to make a very morbid analogy, if you'll allow it. I know I've already started the show off in a very poor way that doesn't reflect my character in the most positive light, but I would like to make an analogy that's very morbid, if you will allow.
Floor is yours.
So after today, this 3 out of 4 loss to the New York Yankees. It's not so much that it was the Yankees; it just happened to be the Yankees. And I've already said the season was over after they lost that last one to the White Sox. So this isn't me saying that the season is over because I've already said that the season's over. But anytime that there's like an elderly person and they're just like in the hospital and they're ready to go, but they haven't gone yet. And, all the loved ones will like get in their ear and just be like, just go. Like, what are you hanging on for? Just go. That's how I feel about this Red Sox team. Because they're still fighting, which I appreciate. But it's like, I'm just glad. Because, even I know that it's broadcasters' jobs to make the illusion that there's still a chance. Like even today, like that, I don't know if this team wins and that team loses. Like, they're still talking about like the playoffs and shit. I'm ready to get to the point where even the broadcast can acknowledge like it's over. Like I'm not even saying we got on it early. I feel like we got on this at the appropriate time. We weren't premature. We weren't too late. I feel like we called it at the exact time that it should have been called. But now that it's, I get, again, people in the media, it's their job. They have to at least like talk about, like, you can't just like abandon playoff scenarios and be like, well, if this happens and this happens, like, you don't want to say it's over and then a miracle happens. 2011, a miracle happened and teams got in and teams were left out that you would never have expected in early September. But now we're at a point at the dead mid of September where I think we can all just call it and we can say, hey, I don't even want to say it was a good run. It was a fine run. It was fine.
It was a run aided by a weak league. Let's just call it like that. Like
6 weeks.
This wouldn't have been much of a run if the rest of the league was playing like it normally does.
Agreed. Yes. I think I would love to look back. Maybe I'll look that up when someone else takes the ball here. What everyone else's record, where would the Red Sox be at 75 and 75 on September 15th last year? Like, they would have been like 9 games out or whatever the fuck. Steve, you have that information?
7.5 games out. So I guess not much different. 2 games different.
2 games difference, but like 7.5.
They were 74 and 74 on this day last year. So it's, what are we doing?
It's like a fucking corn maze. You go in, you do a couple loop-de-doos, and you come out the same way. It's like, yeah, you took a different path, but at the end of the day, you still came out the same way. It's just that's where we're at.
And then 2022, better league, 69 and 74, 11 games out. So it's basically these 3 seasons have all been very similar. I'm dying. Very similar in terms of
record-wise.
Yeah, record and standings-wise for the most part.
It's almost like 22, 23, 24. These seasons were they all had the same amount of calories, but they tasted different.
And they were spread out a little bit more. Let's be honest. Like 5 years from now, we're just going to clump these seasons together. These 3 are all just going to be like one long, annoying season. I don't think we're going to like spread them out that much.
I already do. And I don't even know that they tasted that differently. All 3 years has been terrible defense.
Well, this one had hope.
Pitching.
We were talking the playoffs legit this year.
But even 22, you're coming off the ALCS run. You don't think that, like, looking forward, you didn't think it was going to be the dog shit it became. 23, I think, was the year we had no hope, no jobs, no cash, none of it.
Well, because going into 2022, after 2021, it was like, all right, you went over the luxury tax. You're definitely not going over for just 1 year. If you stayed over, you're expecting to spend. And then you've had 2 years in a row where they've also cheaped out on you.
It's always
Right,
the prolonged death that I hate. Like last couple of years, at least it's happened a little bit quicker. And again, that
Sure.
also ties back to the rest of the league playing better ball. But this last month has been the biggest grind of all time. Like, and I know we've mentioned kind of similar stuff every show, but the team's been kind of the same after every series. Like, it's not like we have a bunch of new stuff to break down or a whole new vibe to break down. Cora summed it up really well after game 3, being like, yeah, our season's been over 15 times already. And that's kind of exactly how it's felt like since mid-August, basically.
And say what you will about the offense, like you have a month sample size of them being a bottom 5 offense in all of baseball. Now, it's not 2 weeks, it's not a week, it's not, oh, they're going to get hot. No, it's been a month. It'll be a month and 5 days that they've kind of stood at this point. And at the same point, you've watched the rotation actually do its job over and over again. You're 4th in ERA, starting rotation ERA since August 20th. Imagine if I had told you back at, the All-Star break, you were going to get that. You'd say, oh, we're going to the playoffs, man. Holy hell, the pitching showed up. The starting rotation has done its job. You also have the bullpen over that same stretch. They're 26 in bullpen ERA, the worst bullpen, in all of baseball since the All-Star break. So it's some combination every night of the rotation doing its job, the bats not showing up, and the bullpen imploding. And you can kind of cycle through those different things with the bad defense across a series. And that's what this series was. Your bats showed up for one game. Your starting pitching was pretty good in just about every single game. And then the bullpen went and did its thing imploding.
Is there a need to go game by game, or should we just go story by story?
Stories, dude.
Okay. You know what? Let's play story roulette here. I'm going to let Tyler pick the first story that we hit on. There's the Gerrit Cole stuff. There's the Tristan Casas stuff. There's the Joe Castiglione stuff. There is the Zach Kelly demotion. There is... why is that funny, Tyler? You don't like Zach Kelly?
Not many times you see, him and Boozer absolutely get their dicks kicked in, and then they're told right after the game we're done. Like, you get out of here. Like, we're not even going to think about it for 10 minutes. Like, Penrod, Bailey Horn, get the hell up here.
Yeah. There is the Cora comments both on Saturday and Sunday. I think that they go hand in hand. It also kind of ties into the Gerrit Cole stuff, but I think today just pretty much openly saying we threw it at Aaron Judge and we just missed.
And then Boone after the game being like, I didn't know that or hear about that, but that's, above my head. That's somebody else's responsibility to take action with those quotes. I was like, whoa, these are two guys that are supposed to be friends.
We don't play them. No, they are friends. There's nothing's going to, what are they going to fight each other in the fucking parking lot?
But you don't usually see that kind of like back and forth between two guys who are that friendly.
Which is why I'm surprised it even came up in the first place.
Exactly.
The way Cora was saying it was like there was someone over there he doesn't respect at all that's calling the shots. But, oh well. You can do Tyler. It's your call. Tyler, this is your call.
I think this is the biggest stuff of the weekend and everyone's kind of focused on right now, and probably the last time we'll have much to say about anything that happens in a game. So let's do that.
Gerrit Cole?
Yes.
Okay. So the thing about Gerrit Cole, right, is that I've been saying for years.
For Pete's sake, it's
that this guy is a huge pussy. And like I have Stephen Coley, correct me if I'm wrong. I've changed, right? Like I used to be much more vicious and mean to players I didn't like. I don't do that anymore, but I never backed off of how I felt about Gerrit Cole. And I have had Yankee fans chirp me and be like, you wouldn't, like, same thing. Like I get it all the time. You wouldn't say it to his face and blah, blah, blah. Like I've never had the opportunity because anytime that we're around each other, he won't come near me, and I'm not going to like make the first move and walk up to him and be like, I hate you and here's why. But if he came up to me, and he was like, dude, what's your deal? Like why do you crush me so hard? I would answer honestly. I'd say, I kind of think that you're a little bit of a fraud. First and foremost, you play for the New York Yankees and I'm a Red Sox fan. So like, let's get that straight. I didn't say a word negative. I loved Gerrit Cole when he was on the Astros because he was a badass and he was nasty. That 2019 Gerrit Cole, that dude was he was the final boss. But you shaved your beard. You got a little fat. You have 2 more chins now. And you went to the New York Yankees. I'm a Red Sox fan. I hope you can understand that. That's where we start. That's why I don't like you. Reason number 1. Then in 2021, when the sticky stuff crackdown happened, that's when trust me, there's plenty of pitchers that I really like, that I respect as human beings, that were using sticky stuff. So, I'm a huge fan of multiple players that tested positive for steroids. I don't care about cheating in baseball. I really don't. And I get shit for that all the time. People will say, oh, the integrity and blah, blah, blah. And I don't give a fuck, dude. Like, I like long home runs and I like pitches that look like, Bugs Bunny changeups and all that shit. Sliders that look like magicians are throwing them. Like, I like that. Whatever. It's entertainment value to me. I care more about entertainment value than integrity. Shoot me. Actually, don't. Don't do that.
Tyler?
Shoot me with a, I don't know, like a Nerf gun if you want. But when Gerrit Cole started crying because he couldn't cheat, I started like the bearded dragon that I saw in Houston became this sad little puppy dog that was sad that the league was telling him he couldn't cheat anymore. It's like, bro, it's an even playing field for everybody. Now no one can do it. You're still really good. It's all relative, right? You may not be as dominant as you once were, but it's all relative. You can't cheat. No one else can cheat. They're not saying just Gerrit Cole can't cheat. So that's where I lost respect for him. And just the whining, like it's almost like seeing your dad get beat up. It's like when you're a little kid, you think your dad is like this big tough guy and no one can beat up my dad. But then your dad gets beat up and you're like, oh shit, like, okay, I didn't realize that. Seeing Gerrit Cole just be like a whimpery little bitch about that, I'm like, all right, you're not the badass that I thought you were. You actually are the bitch that I think you are. So that happens. The number of games against the Red Sox where he just gets dominated and it's all like for Pete's sake and no. All that. The start in the playoffs where Xander takes him to the moon and Kyle Schwarber. It's like you had to I respect the big game pitchers that show up in the big games and they shove it up your ass. Like this series against the Yankees in the Bronx was very reminiscent to the 1999 ALCS, where the Red Sox lost in 5 games, but they kicked the shit out of Roger Clemens. So we were like, hell yeah, we fucking lose in 5, but at least we got that motherfucker Roger Clemens. Like, yeah, we lost 3 out of 4, but we kicked the shit out of Gerrit Cole again. 7 earned runs against the Red Sox. Dude's ERA against the Red Sox since becoming a Yankee is over 6. He's given up 22 home runs in 78 1/3 innings in 15 starts. That's crazy. So that's why I don't like Gerrit Cole. And then this happens where the whole thing with Rafael Devers, and we played the quote on the last podcast. Hey, who's the one Latin player? Rafael Devers. Couldn't even get the question out. Rafael Devers is the answer. He's the guy that swims in my head. First inning, Gerrit Cole drills Rafael Devers. And I tweeted it. I didn't think it was on purpose. I could be wrong. I didn't think like a dude like that. And if he was going to hit him, he's got 96, 97, 98 in the tank. You wouldn't hit him with a 91 mile an hour cutter, or maybe you would to have the plausible deniability.
And it was the second pitch. It wasn't like the Bello thing where it's like first pitch you're throwing right at the guy. Jonathan
Papelbon hit me with the second pitch and it was on purpose. So that does happen. So then the next at bat, he comes up and Gerrit Cole goes 4, get on base. Like Stone Cold Steve Austin. Steve, and you can attest to this.
Whatever you're going to say, I already
Steve
know this.
Austin in 1999 or 1998 when he's at the top of his game and he's the Texas Rattlesnake and he's a badass. He's stunning everyone. He's drinking beers. Everyone wants to be him because he's muscular. He's bald. He's got the goatee. He's got the title. He's just stunning. He's selling T-shirts. He's broken into mainstream because of how awesome and badass he is. Would Stone Cold ever in a match be like, please don't hit me. Please. No, he wouldn't. And that's what Gerrit Cole did. He has zero aura. He has no badass characteristic or nature to him. If there was a guy that gave Pedro Martinez fits, who comes to mind when I say that, Coley?
Kareem Garcia.
Like I'm trying to think.
Who was great against Pedro? Not a lot of guys come to mind.
Jeter had good
Jeter
numbers.
Was slapping little dinkers.
Yeah. Gary Sheffield, Hideki Matsui, guys like that. Yeah. Posada, Posada, guys like that. Like Pedro would drill them to say "fuck you." It wouldn't be like I'm afraid to face you, so I'm gonna hit you. Like he would in the ALCS in 2004, he threw one right under the chin of Matsui to make him uncomfortable. He didn't even hit him. He was just like, all right, you've been seeing the ball too well against me, so fuck you. And he didn't get a hit for the rest of the series, I'm pretty sure. So Pedro just went about it in a very different way. And Pedro's 5'10". He's not like this big, overpowering, massive a man like Gerrit Cole. Gerrit Cole's a big dude. Like I've been around, big dude. But it was just a negative 5,000 aura move to be like, go first. I don't want anything to do with this guy. With what? 1 out and bases empty, right?
Nobody
One
was
out,
on,
bases
yeah.
empty. 1 out, bases empty.
I just, I mean, for Pete's sake, it's
And because he says shit like that.
They were
Like,
also up 1-0.
He talked like Stone Cold Steve Austin's like, give me a hell yeah, I don't know if stun this son of a bitch, stomp a mud hole in your ass. Gerrit Cole,
I just, I mean, for Pete's sake,
he sounds like Kermit and talks like Ned Flanders. And then he's afraid to face, he openly admits to the world that this guy is swimming, doing backstrokes in my head, and then goes out a few days later and demonstrates it on the mound at Yankee Stadium. That's why I don't respect Gerrit Cole. Thank you.
That was good. You really
Thank
touched up on a lot of it there. I'm
Thank
glad that he gave us that meme, the 4 fingers meme. Like, I'm already loving that he's given us that material. By the way, Gerrit Cole does that all the time. I know last episode I was saying, I don't think he handles the media well, which I still don't think he does. I think socially he's just kind of weird and doesn't prefer to talk. But he gives us these. Remember, he had kind of that like little whiny face when he was walking off the mound at somebody and kind of pointed him down. And then he does the 4 fingers, head on over to first. Obviously, we have that Kermit Cole image from the wild card game in 2021. I think this was a bizarre scenario from start to finish. The fact that he actually intentionally walked Rafael Devers right now makes no sense. Like, that should further confirm that Devers is in his head. Like, this version of Rafael Devers, who hasn't hit a home run in 17 games, you're putting him on first base with 1 out and nobody on in a 1-0 ball game. That's kind of weird. He handled the post game strange, saying like he was kind of contradicting himself. Like Boone said,
They
maybe
wouldn't
we
put
should
it
do
on
it.
somebody.
Yeah, they wouldn't really pin it on anybody, and he was dancing around it the whole time. But my biggest takeaway from this whole thing, and I had tweeted this out, is we desperately need word for word translation from these Spanish-speaking players and
Saw
from
this
the
tweet.
non-English-speaking players in baseball. These scenarios that happen, obviously, players that don't speak English, some of the best players in baseball, some of the best players in the world, they are naturally then going to be involved in some of the biggest moments that happen in this league. And for this moment to happen, to see the Cora, presser, which we'll get to in a second, and then I'm like, okay, I'm, locked in. I don't think I've been that locked into a post-game show in a while. I was like, I can't wait to hear what Devers says. I can't wait to hear what Bello says. Can't wait to hear what Cole says. And then what you get from Devers and Bello is definitely not what they said. Like, there's no way that was word for word or even too close to word for word. We've gotten to know the Red Sox translators over the years. Great people, phenomenal individuals. It's not necessarily their fault, but what you get is kind of a watered-down version of what's said, and I really want the exact quote in a scenario like this. We have some Spanish-speaking listeners that translated and said that Rafi said that that Cole cowered in that moment, which I want that. I want that line. Like, of course, we got the Bello, said it showed weakness thing, which then makes the quote cards. But yeah, that was kind of my top thing, is like, I want to know exactly what these guys are saying that are involved in the moment. And on top of that, and I'm curious what you guys think of this, I'm kind of stunned that AC was that convinced he was throwing at Devers. Like, typically when Cora is this strong on something, I'm like, oh yeah, no, I back AC. Like, I definitely saw it the same way. I had to text Tyler for the clip of him getting plunked. I didn't even see when he got hit because no one was talking about it on Twitter. Like, it wasn't a topic at all. It was just the 4 fingers and go to first base thing that came up. So the fact that he was that definitive about it seemed a little bit off. I'm sure he's just pissed off now and sick of all this shit, as they all are. Rafi was pissed off in the finale about a pitch that was barely outside of the zone that was called a strike. So there was a lot going on there, but yeah, needing better translation and then kind of being stunned that Cora took that stance is my biggest takeaway.
Yeah, I think like you kind of look at how rare this entire thing was with the intentional walk. Codify had the stat. The only bases empty intentional walks in the first 4 innings of any MLB game in the last 50 years. Happened to Barry Bonds 5 times between 2002 and 2003. Vlad Guerrero in 2007. Aaron Judge 6 weeks ago. Like, now is the moment you pull that move. That's it. That's all. So we're talking, 2 Hall of Famers, Barry Bonds, Vlad Guerrero, Aaron Judge, future Hall of Famer, most dangerous hitter in baseball today, and then Rafael Devers, who barely has shoulders right now. Like, those are, kind of the guys that Gerrit Cole in this spot decided to frame Rafael Devers with. I don't know. I think in the moment as well, like I didn't take it that way. And like I was watching pitch by pitch. The only person that seemed to really catch on, Uke, when Bello was throwing towards Judge, immediately was like, no, like something's going on here. Pay attention. Cora said he had noted it in his head after that hit by pitch that something was off there, that he was kind of feeling some type of way about it. And then the intentional walk confirmed it. I had looked at it and I thought Cora was looking for something to fire everyone up at a time when the team is basically looking lifeless. It's like, hey, we're going to cling to this, even if, I'm wrong and we're all wrong and maybe we're just being a little sensitive towards it. Fuck it. We're going to go full guns blazing. And then you saw the comments this morning, which I feel like you never see a manager make, but to be like, hey, if we go on this run right now and we win every single game for the rest of the year on our way to the playoffs, we'll look back at this Gerrit Cole moment. To me, it was like Cora was begging for this to be like a spark for them, to be something that kind of got them going. And clearly it didn't work very much today, but this seemed a little bit like, yeah, I think Cora was upset. I also think he was pulling the last button he had, hopefully to wake the team up, and it just didn't do it.
Yeah, that makes more sense. That makes more sense.
Didn't it seem like he was too upset about something
it was just
none
like,
of us were talking about?
Like,
I had to rewind the postgame. I'm like, wait, who got thrown at today? What was going on? Like, I didn't even catch up on that.
If you were that upset about it, to, come out before today's game and be like, yeah, we were trying to throw at the guy, why wouldn't you just handle it when the game started? Throw right at him. Like, instead you're just going to drop it and move forward.
Bello missed.
No, I mean the following game, though. If you had beef with it and you want to get after
it, you got your chance. You got your chance.
We've seen it happen.
He missed.
We've seen it happen.
But especially when it happens, that doesn't make it okay when it happens.
Yeah, you get one shot, and Bello missed him. Yep.
And Judge knew, by the way. I think looking back at the footage, Judge called the timeout. I think he kind of looked over at the dugout a little bit, just kind of trying to gauge the situation. When you're as good as he is, as big as he is, like the guy that you would plunk because he's the face of the team, your alerts up for that. Like you're always kind of aware that could be happening, and he knew that's what they were doing. And
well, it's not like they threw it like the fucking 26 man on the roster. They threw it Rafi, and it's like, all right, fucking he's our best hitter. We're gonna take out your best hitter.
But Bello did it the right way though. Was at the feet.
Yeah,
he did. Yeah. I'm a little surprised Judge was that aware of what was going on, because I don't think even we knew that this was going on during the game.
When Devers got hit, especially after what Cole had just said and where he got hit, I typed out the tweet like, there's not even a warning on that. Like, I was shocked that there was no warning and that no one said anything. Everyone was just like, oh, classic wild Gerrit Cole. Like, no, he's not. No, like if he had just barely hit him, if it was closer to the plate, I think there's a lot more deniability. He hit him square in the fucking back. Like he almost missed. That's how far out he was. Like that, it felt super intentional. And I was pumped Cora was talking about it because I was shocked no one said anything earlier. Like genuinely shocked.
Don't you think he gets him on the first pitch? Like, I know Pap had that approach with Gerrit, but don't you think he gets him with the first one if he's trying to hit him?
No, because you want plausible deniability. Like, you don't want to get suspended. I guess,
but that's even like that. He took that is the most wuss game of all time, if that's what he actually did.
That's what we're talking about.
No, I know. But it's just like, if you're going to waste a pitch, and you get a strike, by the way, a guy that you can't, pitch to, that you've had terrible history. You're 0-1 in the count. Maybe you can get him now, Gerrit. Like, he spent half of his post game talking about how hard it is to pitch to Rafi and how they're like, game planning.
They're like, you struck him out a lot of times. I know he's hit you hard at certain points, but you also have struck him out a lot. And he's like, yeah. But I do think Boone kind of made it clear. He was like, my preference was to be more aggressive. And then, Cole was dancing around. But it seemed like Boone was on the way of attacking. And whether it was Cole and Matt Blake or whatever were more on the side of just like, avoid it.
There is a scenario where, because I don't know if we'll ever, we won't definitively know. Cole's not going to come out like a week later being like, by the way, I did try to get him. Like Cora was onto something. But there is part of this where he is such a mental clown, like Rafi has so much real estate in Gerrit Cole's head that he gets ahead 0-1, and now he's like, all right, I got to now spot this pitch perfectly. Can't give him something too good to hit him ahead in the count. And he does actually, plunk him with that. Like, that could be part of it too. But either way, like, if you thought that, Cole, that's not a crazy thing to think. But I was just surprised.
The Red Sox have been so bad swinging at first pitches lately. I think he was hoping he could get him to just like kind of weak. It was a cutter or
it was a cutter, something away.
Yeah, it was away. It was definitely away and low. So I think he was just hoping like maybe I can get him to chase this, flare it to third base. Like, I don't even think he realized he had the strike. I think he was just like, well, fuck, he didn't swing at that. Now I'm going to hit him. Like, and if he was so confident that he could pitch well, why would he intentionally walk him the next time? Like, that to me more locks in that he hit him intentionally.
If you just looked at Raffy though, and you were just like, fuck it, I want to throw at him, right? Like, if you were just like, I don't want to face the guy, why wouldn't you just walk him then?
Yeah, you should just put the fours up then.
If you're just like,
part of the game plan,
hey, I'm not fucking with you. Like, it's never seemed personal between Devers and Cole. It's just been one-sided. It's like, this guy owns you. But for Gerrit Cole to even bring him up in a presser recently, and I think Cole, you and Jared were like, no, like, this tone from Cole isn't even like that annoying. Like, it's kind of like, all right, like, hey, he's tipping his cap to the guy. He's saying what he's saying. To throw at him feels like a different framing of what that, back and forth has been than what we've seen so far. Like, that is almost ballsy to be like, fuck it, I'll put one in his back, even if it is the second pitch, compared to like, you know what? I'm a pussy. I don't want to face the guy. Let's just intentionally walk him.
I would love if he said that in the post game. I mean, I hit him and walked him because I'm a pussy. That's like, what else do you expect?
But it's like, you weren't pussy then, but now you are.
Yeah,
it's an interesting
his
spot.
I don't know that hitting someone makes you a big tough
to him,
guy.
You know what I mean? Like, to him, if he thinks he's proving something by throwing it at him.
I think the way he did it, the way he talked about it after, like, I think that all matches his character for sure.
The biggest thing that I've taken away from this is that, like, whatever we thought in terms of how much real estate Raffy had in Cole's head, it's more than we already thought. Like, it exceeds whatever we initially thought, which was already at like a max level. So for a guy that just won a Cy Young, I can't really get over that. And Raffy's reaction when he put the 4 up almost was like, this is a joke, right? I think he thought it was like a joke. He looked at Corey, like he looked at his dad, like, do I go to first? Like, what do I actually do here? I don't really know what to do. So the whole situation was kind of weird. And Boone immediately in the postgame too was like, yeah, it probably wasn't the best idea. Like, immediately shot it down.
No.
I will say one of the best things was the Raffy post game, because he just had that smirk on his face. Like,
I know,
dude, I know that guy can't stop thinking about me. I know I terrorize him in life. And like, hey, if he wants to act like that, be like that. And like, to even make the point, like, hey, he's a Hall of Fame pitcher. Like, to put that, that prestige, that kind of condescending tone on him, like, fuck yeah, give me more of that. I enjoy that side of Raffy when he, gets to flex himself a little bit and be like, yeah, I'm fucking Rafael Devers.
When I saw the face he was making, I'm like, this is why I want every word. This is why I want word for word translation, because I know he's going to say something awesome
right now. He called him a pussy.
I know, but then it got presented as like, I was kind of surprised, and he's a Hall of Fame pitcher.
Yeah, he said his bravery was lacking a little bit there today.
By the way, one of the best pitchers he's ever seen in his life, and he couldn't say anything more nice about him. It's like, come on. Yeah. He thought he was a puss.
What I will say on the translation front, and you kind of hit on it, there are so many more Spanish speakers in the fan base where if they did try and slide through some PC bullshit, some like cleaning it up, because that's like the translator does need to be like filtering some things.
It happened during spring training. Moment. Remember during the Raffy rant on the spending and them needing help? A lot of people felt like there were punches held during that translation.
For sure. I'm sure there are. But
you go back the Yoshida stuff from a year ago where they fired his translator because he didn't translate a single word correct.
I absolutely nailed that.
Like, get this guy out of here, man.
But that's kind of my point. There are less of those people. There are less Japanese speakers, at least that in our world. You know what I mean? Where they could be translating anything. Who knows? But like, genuinely, that's not anything other than like I speak more Spanish than I do Japanese. You know what I'm saying?
It wasn't the fan base who was like, they need to fire that guy. Like, clearly either Yoshida or someone was like, yeah, he's not saying anything that Yoshida's saying right now.
Gerrit?
I have an idea. Maybe we start it next year, but you mean to tell me that we can't have a Section 10 Spanish translator and a Section 10 Japanese translator?
For sure.
Like, the Japanese one may be harder to find, but I know we have Japanese speaking Section 10 fans. And obviously, like, there's, I would say 80% of the island of the Dominican Republic listens to Section 10. Mm-hmm. So we can find somebody to become the interpreters, the Section 10 Spanish and Japanese interpreters. And then I'll just get their numbers, and like they can send me an audio recording of the interpretation, and then we can take the audio from what Devers said or whomever, clip it, and put it side by side with the Section 10 interpretation, and we'll get the real interpretation out there.
I mean, we have our loyal Dominicans from Rosendale who come to every single event that we've
Dude.
ever done.
Buddy,
the
I had
goats.
to, like, there was someone in line that was getting loud for a second because they cut the line. I was like, pause.
Yeah.
He was like, there was someone that was like, they were next in line. He was like, what the fuck, man? Like, we've been waiting. And I was like, you're going to continue to wait. Because I was like, this is my Dominican brethren. And I was like, how long have you been listening? I was like, if you knew about the winter weekend episodes from 2019 of us driving around on the mopeds or whatever the fuck those are, little go-karts that they have at the casino. I was like, that was with them. So they're gonna, and it wasn't like they just walked up and cut the line.
No.
Like they were there, they were hovering
They've been there the
around
entire time.
Yeah, they were standing by the line, hanging out. But
and they're
I
basically
called
for
short.
security, so it's like they deserve to be in that spot.
Yeah, they would definitely interpret if we asked them to, for sure. They would,
they would let us know. They would just tweet us or DM us if some nonsense had been tried to be passed through as real.
Yes.
Oh, of course.
Yes.
The one thing, like, we've obviously talked about the translation, but if you just like really break it down, it's kind of crazy how much we've just come to accept it. Where you ask a guy a question, he says an answer that's like a minute long, and then we get the English version that's like 15 seconds. Like, all right, so here's the deal. He said that he's not a huge fan, but he loves this and he's ready for tomorrow. It's like we're just accepting that the wrong quote is now being delivered to all of us. Like, that's what we've been doing for years now.
Yeah.
So the fact that we can get quick translation and have technology that does that, I'm kind of surprised we don't do it. And it never seems like I should know his name because I've met him before. Super nice guy, Devers translator, and just the Red Sox translator. I'm terrible with names, but it doesn't even seem like, because he does other stuff too. That's not all he does. It doesn't seem like he even loves doing it. Like, he has a look on his face during these where he's like, oh man, I just kind of hope he doesn't say something bad, because now I have to be the one to deliver that news, like it happened, like Tyler mentioned, in spring training.
It is hard too, because with the translators, they do work for the team. So like you start to get into that balance of these guys. Like, are they going to just think organization first? Is that how they're trained? Like, is there a way to get, someone who's just has no, thing in it one way or the other? It doesn't matter if they say something crazy or something positive. They're just here to translate as accurate as possible. I don't know if you can find that line when they work for the team like that. And they're probably like told, hey, try to keep it as, drama free as possible, which sucks for the fans.
I mean, the equivalent with like an English-speaking player wouldn't make any sense. It would be like he's on the other side of like the door, and like, let me ask him a question, he'll tell me, and then I'll like make sure it's like PR worthy for the media. Like, that's crazy, but that's what we do.
Is it Carlos Benitez?
Yes, absolutely. Carlos is great, super nice guy. He's always been very nice, but it's not his fault. I mean, he's doing his best, and to your point, Tyler, I think there is a part of that job that's like, let's make sure we don't get the player in trouble here, and let's say the most polite version of what was just said to me.
I don't think we've ever met.
You've definitely seen him. I mean, he's in the dugout.
Yeah, no, I've definitely seen him, but I don't think I've ever met.
Yeah.
Yeah, Davison's my boy though. Shout out Davison.
Davison's great.
Yeah. He's got that dad strength now. Anyways, I think that's what we got to do. I think you also have to download the Underdog Fantasy app and sign up with the promo code Jared to get up to $1,000 in bonus cash. And a special pick on Underdog. That's promo code Jared, Jared. Need to be doing that. But having Section 10 translators for the 2025 season, that's going to be fantastic. And I feel like there's going to be plenty of Spanish-speaking fans that line up for that job. That's probably the one that we already have figured out. Like, we already have like a short list. Tyler?
Not to cut out jobs, but hopefully maybe Sasaki gets posted and something crazy happens, but more likely than not, Yoshida's not going to be here. So are we going to need a Japanese translator?
Maybe.
We'll need one on deck because,
whenever someone
from
comes.
Japan at any point. Yep.
I mean, Daisuke is only a Marblehead. Like, if he just pops over and starts yapping about how he feels about the state of the team, I want to know what he said.
It's a good take.
Yeah. What do you think the odds are that Yoshida's here next year, Tyler?
20%. That feels about right there. I think they're going to move him in any way, just more. Not even about the money. Go ahead.
I have a question. Don't you think that Yoshida is more valuable to this team right now than Trevor Story? why? Because you're gonna have. I would not more valuable. Maybe that's the wrong way to say it. Is Trevor Story more expendable than Yoshida going into this offseason?
If you wanted to have the conversation of, say Marcelo Myers ready by the middle of the year.
He's just about to light up a cigarette.
No matter how you fucking phrase the question, like, yeah, dude, like, what do you mean?
If you're having the conversation about Marcelo Meyer, right, and he'll be ready in the middle of next year, now maybe you say, well, they can go sign Willy Adames, and that's it. You don't have to think about Trevor Story ever again. At the moment right now, Trevor Story is the anchor of this defense going into next season. No matter how you feel about it one way, let's just say the pieces are Devers, Casas, and second base you're mix and matching. Trevor Story is your plus defender, or else you're entering, another season with the same infield that was historically bad this year in certain aspects, right? I will say with Masataka Yoshida, we already know the organization as a whole does not like him as a fit. He's a platoon hitter to them at this point. Him facing a lefty today was shocking to everybody.
He bought everyone dinner. That's why.
Yeah, exactly. They went out to dinner with the coaching staff last night. So
yeah, this guy's not that bad. Now that we talk about it.
Like, Cora's laughing in his face. He's like, yeah, he was flipping the meat like a fucking champ last night. We're going to let him face a lefty today. But I do think Yoshida as a hitter offers something that the lineup needs, and it's not a lot of strikeouts. They are third in MLB in strikeouts right now. Trevor Story, we know, even if he's a suitable version of himself, is going to be up there for strikeouts on the team. But I think with Yoshida, they've told you, they don't believe he can play the field. They don't think he can hit lefties. And they want someone who's versatile and can do different things in that spot. How else do you keep him on the roster? And now, in Ken Rosenthal, we'll transition it into the Tristan Casas conversation as well. Yoshida's mentioned in there, it's just how else are they going to move him? Well, hey, you're going to have to eat some money and probably attach a prospect, but is it worth it to open the roster up the way you need it to?
I mean, the Rosenthal piece, to even answer Jared's question, I think the most alarming part of it, and that's not even a personal thing, but the most alarming part of the article was they've guaranteed exactly one roster spot next year. One. And it's the Trevor Story, which is insane. Genuinely
this was the
insane.
Rosenthal article?
The way he wrote it was just like, you got Story at short and every other position on the roster can be moved. It was just like, excuse me? How is that?
Wait, hold on.
Let me pull it up. Because I tweeted about
Cole
it
is going to pull that up. I'm going to talk about HelloFresh. I want the exact quote so we can all pass our own judgment on this. HelloFresh is a lifesaver for me. Father of two, it's cheer season. So they've got games on the weekends. They've got practice at night. I don't know how to cook, and we all have to eat food. Am I right? Are we people that eat
Not
food?
me.
One's in the chat if you eat food.
Tyler doesn't eat anymore, but we all do.
Yeah, that's true. HelloFresh, you get farm fresh, pre-portioned ingredients and seasonal recipes delivered right to your doorstep. It's why it's America's #1 meal kit. No more endless recipe searching or spending money on a whole jar of spices for only a pinch. With HelloFresh, everything you need to make delicious meals comes right to your door, pre-portioned and fresh. Plus, the included step-by-step recipe cards make cooking simple. So for me, the recipe cards, I'm more of a visual learner. The recipe cards are great and all, but I need to pull up a YouTube video and see someone making something with HelloFresh, which people do actually do that. They've got YouTube HelloFresh tutorials. If you're more of a visual learner like myself, easily customize your meals with protein or veggie swaps. Tyler, you should be eating more veggies. And don't forget to check out HelloFresh Market for more delicious add-on items to jazz up your weekly deliveries. I mean, for me, I'm obviously a HelloFresh guy because of the convenience. I just don't have time for grocery shopping. I don't even know what day out of the week do you think I would go grocery shopping? After watching that Week in the Life vlog, Tyler, what day of the week do you think I would fucking go grocery shopping?
It would have to be Saturday.
Saturday, the kids have football games.
During the games, you can go.
Well, then I would be an absent father.
Everybody has to make sacrifices to eat.
No, I can't do that. There's no day for me. So that's why HelloFresh comes into play. For free breakfast for life, Tyler, go to HelloFresh.com/free section 10. One free breakfast item per box while subscription is active. That's free breakfast for life just by going to HelloFresh.com/free section 10, FREESECTION 10. Yeah. America's #1 meal kit, baby. For a reason. For a reason. Shout out to HelloFresh. Making my life so much easier. Cole, you have the quote?
Yeah, well, so I got to read a decent amount of it to really get the picture painted. He starts it off by saying, picture Alex Bregman playing third base for the Boston Red Sox next season. Wait, what about Rafael Devers? Move him to first. What about Tristan Casas? Trade him for a starting pitcher. So he's already taken someone not on the team, put him at third base. He's moved Rafael Devers to first. Tristan Casas is off the team. I think it sounds like a lot, but it's currently constituted. The Red Sox position player group is too young and too left-handed.
That's where the story stuff plays in. The left-handed stuff, Story's the right-handed bat. That's another big piece of it.
He said, and it will get even younger if the team incorporates Roman Anthony, Marcelo Meyer, and Kyle Teal. The 2024 Sox lack right-handed thump aside from Tyler O'Neill, who is heading to free agency. The return of Story helps. There's no source here that cites that that's true. But Cedon Rafaela, Connor Wong, and Rob Refsnyder are not middle-of-the-order types. Take away O'Neill, and the Red Sox right-handed hitters only have 48 home runs this season, or 3 fewer than Judge. Enter Bregman or Willie Adames, a shortstop who could move to third base, which, again, I don't understand. Story will play next season at 32. He could move to second once Meyer is ready, unless another top prospect right-handed hitting Christian Campbell claims the position first, which at this point seems likely. So he's now got Campbell at second, Story at short, 2 guys who don't play for the team at third base. Only one of them has ever been a third baseman. Where else? I know he has one more. But how else would they fit Bregman or Adames into the equation? First baseman Pete Alonso is another free agent option, but his addition would tether Devers to third, further compromising an already shaky defense. He lists Anthony Santander, whose name I'll never say correctly and is obviously not signing with the Red Sox.
Santander.
This was the other part. Obviously, it has nothing to do with the point I'm making, but really bothered me, and I'm glad Jay Hay dug up some nugs. Bregman, who will play next season at 31, seemingly makes the most sense. He is currently dealing with elbow inflammation, but after a slow first 2 months is back to his normal production. He is an alpha dog who plays with an edge. A more talented version of Dustin Pedroia. Yeah, Rosenthal. Beat it.
Hold on.
Yeah, that's for Ken Rosenthal. What the fuck are you talking about?
He's joining the one suspension club.
You read something like that and you just go, I know I love Pedroia. I've never once thought to juxtapose Pedroia's career numbers with Bregman's. I feel like Pedroia was better, not by like a ton either, but I just feel like he was better.
They were different ball players, like that's half of it. The other half of it is I feel like they only make this comp because Bregman, his whole life has talked about Dustin Pedroia being his favorite player.
Sure.
In college, when we were going through the draft at that time, was like, this is Dustin Pedroia, but he plays shortstop. Everyone knew he was going to move to third base, but that was the whole selling point on him. But I don't know. I think you look at Alex Bregman in this conversation, it's like Matt Chapman just got 6 years, $151 million. Bregman's a year younger than him. His walk rate fell off a cliff this year from 12%, almost 13% to 6%. Like, it's the third straight season with an offensive decline for him, and he's elite defensively. Nobody's trying to say he's not. It's 90th percentile outs above average. But if I'm throwing money at someone, I'm doing it to a Willie Adames before I'm doing it to Alex Bregman.
Man, this offseason is going to be fun. At least from a... I don't know that... I don't... Steve?
Oh, no, go.
Steve?
Go.
No, Steve? No, Steve?
It doesn't fit in at all. Tyler?
Oh, okay. Tyler?
I look at this entire conversation.
Seems like the Celtics are almost starting.
I'm honestly, Steve, I'm curious. What were you going to say? You think they're going back to back? Like, do we think we're doing it? No, it's because the dog needs my services, but I don't want to do that right now. I don't want you to forget your point. Tyler,
I
go.
won't. Oh, okay. But no, I think if you're having the conversation here, like just to assume Rafael Devers is going to move over to first base and be able to handle that position. I've heard some people say, hey, I have no doubts he has good hands. I've heard other people say they don't believe it. All I'm saying is we know defensively with Devers, it's never been a range thing. It's never been an ability issue. It's a focus issue. And to his credit, he hasn't had the same lows defensively this year, even though metric wise, he still bombed the league at third base. Do I trust that guy at first base every single day? Do I think that's the best fit for him? If you feel like he can't play third base anymore, it's that much of a hindrance, move him to DH. Like, don't
Right.
half-ass it. You don't need to move him to first base. You have Tristan Casas, who that whole situation we're going to get into, but who last year was a top 5 hitter in the sport from the All-Star break on in terms of OPS. Why can't you kind of reconfigure this thing in a different way where you move Devers to DH? You keep one of the best young hitting first basemen in the big leagues in Tristan Casas. That's how people view him. I'm not saying he's been that this year. And then you can make a decision whether at third base, do you want to add in Willy Adames or Alex Bregman? And then you still have Trevor Story at short. It all can still work here, and you can give Bregman days off, who is dealing with an elbow problem. It's not ligament based, but there's a bone issue, whether it's spurs or whatever. Last time the Red Sox signed a shortstop or third baseman, with an elbow problem, we saw what bled into that. And this guy in Bregman, he's 31. We know Story's about to be 32. I don't know. And I think even if you're having conversations here, like, there's first baseman on the free agent market if you wanted to go out and get a guy. Christian Walker, Pete Alonso, those are two guys at Fenway Park. If you really felt you needed to move Tristan Casas, like, that seems like a better pathway to me than trying to push Devers to first base and hope it all works out, because it could blow up in your face completely in a year where you're supposed to compete.
4 things I want to toss in here before I got to hop. You mentioned Christian Campbell. We have that interview dropping this week. Christian Campbell
what day?
interview.
What day? What day?
Jake, what day?
Tuesday night.
Tuesday night.
Christian Campbell interview. He gave us a lot of good stuff there in Worcester. Joe Castigs is the absolute GOAT. I know you guys will talk about that, but that was happy for him, but also sad that we're not going to have him doing the Red Sox calls anymore. I got the Sox.
I wish he announced the retirement at the beginning of the year.
Yeah,
so that
same.
I could appreciate it more. It's kind of just like,
I know.
Now, we're gonna have 15 games where we are under. We now know that it's gonna be his last 15 games.
And who knows what the radio call is even gonna be moving forward. Like, I'm very curious what's gonna go down with the Red Sox radio call over the next handful of years. But Joe Castigs is the greatest, and you're totally right, Jerry. It would be nice if we had more of a heads up.
I would have
been
listened
like
to the radio more.
No, same.
I still listen to the radio a decent amount. Because I love Joe and I love Will. And Lou and Will together is fucking great. But I wish that I knew at the beginning of the year, because I would have listened even more.
No, 100% same. It's still good to see him at the old ball yard, and the fact he got in the Hall of Fame. Maybe that, you pair those two together, it's like, all right, go off in the sunset after going into Cooperstown. Sox won 1 out of 3, and it's going to be 86 degrees every day of the series. Sorry.
Fuck.
Siesta.
Fuck. One thing Tyler said that I've already started to stress, and I'm going to have to keep stressing it. This will not be, and I'm 99% on this, so if I'm wrong, fucking crap all over me. This will not be the last year of free agency. Like, I promise there will be more off seasons. And this isn't like a Red Sox fan problem. This is an every sport problem. You saw it a lot with the Celtics when they were building up to where they are right now. It's like, you have to make all the moves right now. You have to do them today. And I understand there's a different level of frustration with the Red Sox because they've been assholes every free agency period for like 5 straight years now. So I get not giving them a lot of leash. I get not giving them the benefit of the doubt. In terms of team building, you can't just go sign. What's Christian Walker's like 33, right?
I think
I know he's a young man.
Yeah,
I know he had
a little
late,
younger than that, I believe.
No,
33. You nailed it.
Yeah, he's 33. Pete Alonso is what, 30, 31?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like Pete Alonso, his swing would definitely play at Fenway, no doubt. Next year, if you're going to trade Casas, and I'm fine, honestly, I'm at the point, if they traded all 26 on the major league roster, I don't care. Like, they've been such assholes this year. I'm not tied to any of them, because people have been like, oh, why do you want to trade Duran? I don't want to trade Duran. To me, it makes the most logical sense in terms of what you could get, the type of year he's had. Do I think anyone can repeat this historic year he's had? I think it's unfair to anyone to just assume they're going to repeat something like that. But when people are like, oh, you hate Duran. No, I don't. I do not hate Jarren Duran, the baseball player. If he's here next year, fine with it. Like, that's not the point of being angry about. It's more about what can you get in terms of value. So now I'm just going to say, I don't care any of these guys. Like, when Casas thing comes up, and they're like, oh, they're going to trade Casas. Immediately, I'm just like, that's stupid because you're creating a problem that doesn't exist. Like, you have enough problems as it is. Let's not open up a hole and make a new problem on top of that. Then I think about it more. It's like, I actually only care about the prospects at this point. Not because it's like I'm the prospect guy, me and Tyler the prospect guy. It's not that at all. They haven't pissed me off. And will they piss me off at some point? Probably. That's just how the game goes. But right now, the only people I'm pissed off at are on the major league team. And when I think about it rationally, can they trade Rafael Devers? Of course not. Not because it's he's going to be a Red Sox for life. No one's going to take on that contract. Absolutely zero teams would take on that contract. Can they trade other guys? Probably not either. But like if Bello got traded, would I cry in my cereal? No, I wouldn't. It would just be a thing that I didn't understand at the time. So if they're going to trade Casas, I can see it making sense in one world and one world only. And that's if next offseason you sign Vladimir Guerrero Jr. That's the only thing that makes any fucking sense. If you're talking about right-handed thump, he's going to be, 27 when he hits free agency? That makes a lot of sense in the world. And if you're going to hit him and Devers back-to-back in the middle of the order, that makes a ton of sense. Could Alonso have a couple good years? No doubt. Can we guarantee Vladimir Guerrero is going to hit free agency, or is it going to be a Juan Soto type situation where someone trades from this offseason and then they extend him because he likes it where he ends up? You can't guarantee that, really. So it's very risky to trade Casas, especially when he's at the lowest value he's had since he was drafted. That's where it doesn't, like, I don't know what the Mariners are like, oh man, can't wait to trade George Kirby for Tristan Casas right now. That doesn't make a lot of fucking sense.
And I like the Tristan Casas stuff. Like a lot of people, I think some people read the article and they're like, all right, Ken Rosenthal is just spewing shit or saying shit, right? There has been weirdness with Tristan Casas recently. And Gerrit?
Let me learn something for you. Brother. All right, so the whole Tristan Casas, Ken Rosenthal thing, right? This is a classic example of a journalistic trick. In the biz, this is what they do. They know something, right? And then they phrase it as hypothetically speaking, right? If this were to happen, or, well, wouldn't it be interesting if this happened? And it's because they know that the information came from a valuable source that has the power to make said thing happen. And it's like, okay. So Ken Rosenthal writes this article and it's very juicy and it's going to create a lot of buzz within the Red Sox fan base. A lot of people are going to see this. They're going to react to it. They're going to read about it. They're going to click on his link. So Ken Rosenthal can gain from this. He can benefit from this. Well, someone with the Red Sox, what do they have to gain from giving this information to Ken Rosenthal? Sometimes it's the thrill of, ooh, like, I leaked something and now like it's out there and look at all the firestorm that I started. Like that happens. But in this particular case, someone with the Red Sox gives this to Ken Rosenthal, a person with a very profound and magnified voice within the baseball world. What the Red Sox gain is feedback. They want to know. They don't just want to spring it on you. Hey, by the way, breaking news. Holy shit, we traded Tristan Casas? What the fuck? Like out of nowhere. They want to put it out there now. See what the temperature of the room is. See what the temperature. Can we do this and not get complete blowback? I mean, the fact that the Mookie Betts thing, they don't give a fuck really. But I don't think they can afford another. Not that we don't have a Mookie Betts right now. Like we may never have another Mookie Betts. But in this particular case, they recognize Tristan Casas, popular player, but it's a smart fan base. Some of the fans may say, oh, well, if we can get a starting pitcher, a frontline starting pitcher out of it, yeah, sure, I'm okay with that. Some fans may say, oh, I had a really high ceiling for Casas and he's falling short of that. Or they may say, a smart fan may say, there's X amount of years of control left on this player. That's great, but it doesn't seem like he wants to sign an extension. So, like those years remaining might be of value. And like we have, again, a lot of left-handed hitters and we need to get the pitching, and this is how you get the pitching. So really what this is a leaking of information from someone within the Red Sox because they know that they're not determined to trade Casas, but it's on the list of things that they could potentially do this offseason to make the team better. You leak it to someone like Rosenthal. Rosenthal puts it out there, and then they just gauge what the fan feedback is. Are we going to get crushed for this? Like, are fans going to cancel their season tickets if we do this? And I'm curious what you guys think in terms of what the reaction was. Obviously, he's a very popular player. I'm sure a lot of fans were like, what? No, we can't trade Casas. But it wasn't all that. It wasn't all that.
It's 50-50. It always is with
there
him.
are a lot of people like, well, if we can get a fucking one of those Mariners pitchers, and shit.
And listen, I'm not saying you can't contemplate it. Like, if you're going through the offers this offseason and that's the only thing there, it's worth a conversation, right? I think what's interesting is we know with Tristan Casas, he's been floated to the Mariners before, or you know what? That's the wrong way to frame that. The Mariners have asked about Casas. The Marlins have as well. And so far, the Red Sox have told everyone to go fuck themselves. The tone of this article says something very differently, and I think his usage recently has been weird. I don't know how anyone else can look at it any different. He's now sat out 5 of the last 12 games, each time a lefty's been on the mound. David Peterson, Gerrit Cole, Cade Povich, Nestor Cortez, and Carlos Rodon today. His last start against a lefty was Tarek Skubal, the day we threw out the first pitch in Worcester, August 31st. Now, once in a while, I get it, but you go back to what Alex Cora said when they got rid of Dom Smith. Tristan Casas is going to play every day. It's not even a question mark. When Tristan Casas got hurt in April, Alex Cora looked like someone had went and kidnapped his dog, chopped it into friggin' little pieces, and ate a puppy omelet in front of him. That was the reaction at that time. That's not a suspension. But Cora was beside himself. Go back to before the season. The Red Sox were pleading to try and get an extension done with the guy. They couldn't stop leaking it to the media throughout spring training. They were like, hey, we got Bello done. We got Rafaela, early in the season. We just want to get Tristan Casas done. And they weren't able to get to those terms. Now you've gone to the point where you're going to treat him like a platoon bat. And I could understand. Cora said Monday after that win against the Orioles, hey, I'm going to lean very heavy into the matchups. All right, cool. And Danny Jansen, he had a homer. What was it? The day that Casas sat, he ends up going deep on Thursday night. But overall, to, just permanently make it so Danny Jansen's in the lineup over him and you have Connor Wong at first base, like, I get it. Wong's been swinging it well the last 15. It's a 315 batting average, 915 OPS. But for Danny Jansen to have to be behind the plate in those games, he has a 652 OPS this season. It's 718 against lefties. Casas, even with this being a down year, it's 712. Like, for it to be automatic that Casas is going to sit in these spots feels crazy to me when he's a young first baseman and when your offense has been sputtering for a month. Danny Jansen, I don't care if he is a nice matchup. He is not what's going to get your offense on track. At the end of the day, if Tristan Casas was able to get back on track, that's what could save this offense through falling through the floor. Because we saw a year ago when he was a better hitter than Rafael Devers was, what he could do for an offense. That's the guy, that's the key, and instead you're content keeping him on the bench. And those comments by Alex Cora the last couple days, joking about Casas with the mental reps. You go back to the weirdness about the rehab assignment where Cora clearly wasn't happy. There's seemingly a lot of things here that maybe show they have changed their outlook on him as a player.
I'm also tired of pretending like because the other guy's starting as a left-handed pitcher, you're only going to see lefties all night. Like, it kind of makes no fucking sense to be like, oh, they brought their righty in. Now I'll bring my lefty in off the bench. He's cold. This is the first pitch he's seen all night. Even if it is a different hand someone else is throwing with, like, it'd be nice if that's not your first at bat. Obviously, tonight was extreme. Comes in the 9th inning. But even like when they come in the 6th and stuff like that, like it drives me insane. But it kind of is playing out exactly like how the Mookie situation's playing out, with the obvious caveat that Tristan Casas is not Mookie Betts. Like, and that's not a shot at anyone. Like, Mookie's just like one of the greatest baseball players of all time. But when you look at it right off that 2018 World Series, like even before they had won it, really, you had leaks coming out being like, we're really only going to be able to keep 2 out of 3 of these guys. And a lot of the fan base overlooked it because it was the best team we've ever seen and ever will see. And they were just storming their way to a World Series title. And then it was like that next season happened and it was super awkward. And then they just trade Mookie Betts as if it was some foregone conclusion. They leaked out to the media, as they have with Casas. We've given him an offer. He wants more. What are we supposed to do? And so much of the fan base buys that. Like, they're just like, well, what?
They did what they could.
Take the offer. Like, yeah, it makes the player look selfish, which they've definitely done with Casas. And in this situation, yeah, they start leaking trades. And I don't think there'll be any reaction.
I think in fairness to the Casas contract situation, there's no behind the scenes murmurs or like people feeding information from various sources. Like, Casas has spoke on this himself.
Sure.
Casas publicly was like, yeah, I'd love to sign an extension with the Red Sox. I'm not looking for a lot, just enough to take care of me and my family. 2 months later, he's like, yeah, so they made me an offer and I'm good. Like my agents are telling me that I should make way more. So, and like, I'm always team player. Always. If the player thinks that they're worth more or they think that they can get more, do it. If it's somewhere else, do it. It's always, you know, get the edge over the owners. You know, like these owners make billions, like hand over fist, a shit ton of money. What the players get in return for putting the product on the field is nothing compared to what the owners get. And we're talking billions of dollars, especially the big market teams. So I'm never going to sit here and be like, dude, take less money. Like, no, don't take less money, but don't say or imply I'm about that family friendly, team friendly deal. And then when it gets put on the table, be like, well, actually, I won't. Like,
but we don't know that.
No, in like
we
we're
don't know that
talking
it was
Brian
team-friendly.
Bello and Ceddanne Raphael. Ceddanne Raphael had barely played in the big leagues. He had fucking shown up for 2 weeks and had a nice spring training. That was it. Brian Bello rode the ups and downs the year prior. He wasn't a top 5 hitter in the sport for an entire half. That's just the reality of the situation. People at Tristan Casas getting MVP votes this year. That was a Jeff Passan prediction early in the year. That's how high people were on Tristan Casas. I don't blame him at all for wanting to see what the year was. And guess what? He lost the gamble. He gambled on himself this year and it didn't play out. So you get to the end of the year. Do you want to see if you can get a contract that favors the organization a little bit more? Well, guess what? Just like he had the leverage when he went fucking nuts, now you have the leverage. It's up to you if you want to go and meet it.
I don't think they even have I don't even think they'd put one on the table for him right now.
No, I agree. I think where the way
dollars.
they're framing him right now, it does not seem that way.
Right. That's what I mean. Like,
but if you were just looking at it with no opinion, if you were like, hey, well, you had a down sophomore year.
You're not wrong.
You're not worth what you thought you were, at least, call it 7 months ago.
Right. And it's also why it's weird to like, it's so hard to play the year-to-year game with anyone. Like, Lou the other day called Duran a top 10 player in the sport. And it's like he's having a top 10 season. I'm not going to argue the season he's had. Maybe not top 50 if we like really wanted to name names, just based on like the whole sport, pitchers, all that. Like that's where it's like top 10 season, no argument for he's having a historic season. No one's done what he's done before. Obviously top 10 season. Top 10 player of the sport. Like you don't have to leave the American League to name 10 guys ahead of him, like objectively. And I like Duran. Again, it always sounds like I'm fucking shitting on the guy. I'm really not, but it's just like when you look at these guys like Casas this year, I feel like organizations across all sports, they get so ahead of themselves where they can't reverse course and don't actually just stop and think like, hey, are we sure we want to do this thing you can't reverse once it's done, like trading him to the Mariners, shit like that. Like when they traded Lester to Oakland, they thought for certain he would be back.
Oh, yes.
I'm not even saying that's their plan with Casas, but it's one of those things where if they had known, just even letting him go to the worst run organization in sports, he would just enjoy that freedom of not caring about playing for one team anymore. These are irreversible decisions that you make sometimes, and I don't know if anyone in the room ever just goes like, are we sure we should do this? Like, I don't know if that happens. I think momentum gets behind certain things and it just can't be stopped.
And that's where I look at the Casas stuff. Like the contract stuff shouldn't even factor in. He's not a free agent until 2029. Like you don't have to think that far ahead. And if we're talking prospects, I love, prospect talk as much as anyone. Tristan Casas showed you he could do it at the big league level for a prolonged stretch. This year's been weird. We know he's not healthy. He's dealing with this rib problem. He's showing characteristics of the plate that we hadn't seen in the past before this injury. So something's clearly off. He likely needs an offseason reset to get back on track. Marcelo Meyer, all the questions we have about him, there is just as many. There's a lumbar strain. We don't know what he's going to be at the big league level, especially ceiling wise. We've seen Casas show a ceiling that was one of the best first basemen in all of baseball. I think if we're being honest on Meyer, and you ask for my opinion, do I think we ever see his ceiling be that of one of the best shortstops in baseball? I'd say probably not. I think he'll be an above average good one, but I've seen Casas do that at the big league level. If you're hoping to contend right now for this window to open up, these prospects, as great as they are, they're going to have growing pains. That's the reality for most of these guys. We remember with Bogarts, it took years. This guy was getting booed at Fenway Park, just like we're seeing with Casas right now, like you saw for Duran for years. Not everyone comes up and dominates right away. There should be more value put on a guy who's done it at the big league level than someone we haven't even seen do it at AAA who already has his own set of concerns.
The Meyer injury thing, because I do see a lot of people talk about it, and I've seen people say they're out.
And Casas has his own injury history that you should be,
Sure.
slightly concerned with at this point.
Part of the reason they didn't even offer anything to Schwarber is because they thought Casas was going to be up immediately, and they rolled his ankle, and that was that. But I've seen people harp on the Meyer thing. And for me, I don't know that we have enough information. Like, they've shut him down pretty much the second he gets like a laceration, like a small cut. And to me, is he being like, I can't go, or are they being extremely cautious with the 11th best player in baseball? Now, obviously, it's happened multiple times. He's missed. He's had surgery and all that shit. Obviously, those are different. But in terms of when he's missed chunks of these times, is it something that if he got to the major league level and he was on a playoff team, would he push through like we've seen with Xander, like we see with Devers right now? That's an answer we don't have.
And I'll say, for people who want to talk about Meyer's toughness, he played through the injury last year. He played months with the injury. His numbers tanked, but he wanted to be out there. And then everyone flipped on him, was like, this guy's a friggin' bust. He's not that guy. Like, Chaim Bloom, look at what you wasted the 4th overall pick on. Then he shows up this year and puts together a very strong campaign at Double-A. I don't know. I think that's a fair point, Coley, whether he would play through it or not. I think the concern this year has been that he's not as willing to play through certain injuries after what happened to him last year, where he's like, I want to be a little cautious. I don't want to sink myself. I know on Sox Prospects, they had floated that as a concern going on right now, that maybe, with the way things are playing out, they'd like to see him push through more. But Alice Core labeled him as a concern with his injury history on his own. Meyer is a little bit different because it seems like the body, in terms of getting it to where it needs to be, you look at Roman Anthony, it's like, this guy's a grown-ass man. He does not look like a 20-year-old. Meyer never lifted weights in high school, so there has been this narrative and this conversation, right, that, with time in minor league baseball, he would strengthen his body and get to a point where he was physically, next to everybody else. So far, he hasn't got there. Maybe this offseason he shows up and he's a different guy, but I don't know.
Yeah, he's not. I know you weren't there in Portland. He's not a small dude by any stretch.
Dude, he's fucking big.
Yeah,
that's what I mean. Like, he is big, and it's like, I don't know. I don't want my prospects while they're in the minors playing games. I know they all mean
Yoan
something.
Moncada just like bulked out.
Well, no, I don't even mean that. Obviously get stronger when you can, but I don't want you pushing through even minor injuries in the minors. Like, that makes no sense to me. That can only lead to worse injuries, which I personally don't want happening in games that are meaningless. But yeah, it seems like Casas is gone.
Yeah, at least he's the one at the top of the list right now. And I'm just saying, like, would I be actively trying to push him out the door at this point with where his stock is at? That feels aggressive. Now, if that's the only way to get what you need, that's a different conversation, because there's ways you can figure it out. I would just tell you, if you're like, hey, Tristan Casas is what you need, before I'd move Rafael Devers to first base, I'd look at some of the free agent options, and then you get into Coley's path, whether it's looking to the following year. But I'm not into the idea of moving Devers to first base. And as everyone knows, I'm a Tristan Casas guy, so he would not be the guy I'd ship out.
Talking about, in the article, they also talk about selling Yoshida, and that's where it seems like they just want Devers to DH. I don't think they want to waste Devers' time at first either. I think the landing spot's always going to be DH, but even if there's a transition year where he plays first, it's like a reverse Hanley almost. Like, Hanley, I think, wow, it's very easy to comp to Devers for focus issues and stuff like that. Hanley was a perfectly fine first baseman.
Oh, yeah.
Like, perfectly fine. He had one fuck up I can remember, and that was mostly on the bullpen anyways. That game out in Anaheim where he rifled that ball to home. Like, that was a game. There were multiple runs going to that inning, were they not? Yeah. Like, that's where, like, people were crapping on Hanley, and I was like, listen, the throw was dog shit. They didn't lose the game because of Hanley. But even talking about pitching, like, yeah, I would love them to get like 4 pitchers this offseason. I know that's not going to happen. I obviously know that's not going to happen.
Lou doesn't seem to think that they'll get more than 1.
Who?
Lou.
Yeah, I think he's right. I don't think they should really. Again, there's going to be more offseasons.
You think he's right?
Go get Max Fried. That costs you nothing.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Other than money.
Exactly.
Go get Max Fried, even if there's a qualifying offer. I don't give a like if you're open to trading prospects or Casas, you shouldn't give a fuck about losing a pick to the qualifying offer, especially if you're under the tax. What's that? After the 4th? That's the pick you lose.
Yeah.
You look at 25, 26, just in terms of free agents. Trevor Story can opt out. I'm sure that's going to happen. Vladdy's there for first base. Like, that's for sure someone I'm interested in, especially if we're trading our fucking first baseman.
I thought Vladdy was up after next year.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, after this season.
Okay.
That's after next season.
All right.
I'm just saying that this is more my point that there's more than one off season.
Yeah.
I would love to get everything done in one. Obviously, that's not the best way to go about it. You look at next year's free agency class just for starting pitchers, and obviously Sasaki's probably in this one unless he gets posted early, but he's probably in this one.
Yeah.
So Sasaki's in this one. Dylan Cease, if the Padres don't get a deal with him, will be available. Zach Gallen will be available. Blake Snell's going to be available every year for his fucking life. Framber Valdez will be available. And it's a bunch of people no one cares about. Kodai Senga could opt out. Chris Bassett's available. He'll be like 38 then.
Old man Nate Eovaldi.
Yeah.
Yeah, Nate Eovaldi. There's a lot of older guys too. Eric Fetty, his deal will be done by then.
Mitch Keller?
Mitch Keller will be available. Ranger Suarez.
Wait, what? Didn't Mitch Keller sign an extension?
Yeah, that sounds crazy. This has to be old.
So the MLB, are you looking at the MLB article?
Yes, the exact
They
same.
don't add extensions in this because there are people who pop up like that. Zach Eflin, like there are names again that year, and again the biggest
Keller's
one.
not afraid until 2029.
Yeah, and then another year after that, Alcantara can opt out. Woodruff, Luzardo, Skubal will be up then. I can't imagine. Maybe the Tigers get something done with him ahead of time. Probably not. So it's like every offseason there will be free agents you can add. And every offseason you'll be able to make trades. Every trade deadline you'll be able to make trades. You don't have to get everything done in one offseason as much as we all want that. If they can go get it done for the right prices, I'm not going to be against that either. But you don't have to rush things just to get the wrong pieces.
No, and I think that's why here, and when you start talking about like where the Red Sox are at payroll wise even more, you start to get frustrated that like maybe you're already looking at some of these arms you're dealing for. Like you're at 177 million for next year right now. Like you're going to have 67 million before the first luxury tax. And we're talking about dealing away, one of your best core young players right now just to make it work to go get another arm. It's like, no, you have money to kind of facilitate these deals, whether it's you paying a Max Fried and then going to make another deal where you take on the money to make it work. Now, I do think something that's underrated is how much work's going to need to go into the bullpen because you basically need to do a full makeover back there. But yeah, just shipping out a piece like that. Like I'm not forcing a deal for a young controllable starter either, because there is a guy in Max Fried who I think is the perfect fit for you who just needs money. You just got to pay him. And listen, if he doesn't want to come here, that's a whole thing within itself. You should try to make yourself more attractive so that you don't have people kind of spitting on you or pissing on you and not taking you, seriously. But you have money to use here. Use it efficiently. You do got a deal from the logjam, yes, but don't go about it the right way. Don't just immediately say, hey, we're going to just flip all this there just to make it happen. You don't have to force a deal. There's a right way to go about it. Moving Tristan Casas with his stock at his lowest feels like forcing that piece out when it's like, hey, who knows? If you want to compete next year, I think the best version of your team involves Tristan Casas because Meyer's going to need at least half a year to get, to the point where he's pushing towards the big leagues.
It just felt like the Casas thing happened so quick.
Mm-hmm.
Like it happened so quick where, he gets called up and you're looking at him over there and you're like, wow, like this. Like the next time the Red Sox win a World Series, we're not all the way there yet. Like we don't have everyone up that's going to be a part of that, but that guy right there, he's going to be a part of that. Especially since like this podcast in particular followed him from the day he got drafted, coming on the podcast before he even signed with the Red Sox, and then being like, man, that guy, that first rounder, like he's going to be a big piece of what they've got going on, to where he just burns through the system, comes up, he's playing at the big league level, and you're like, there it is. That's the first piece. That's one of the first pieces of that next championship core to where we're at right now, where we're reading, Rosenthal nuggets being like, yeah, so they're probably going to trade him for pitching when his stock is at its lowest. I don't know. I hope they don't trade him just to trade him. Maybe they don't trade him at all, but unless it's like a front line starting pitcher that's coming back in a Tristan Casas deal, it doesn't make very much sense to me.
No, but when's the last time the Red Sox leaked something like this and then it didn't happen? I guess when they said they'd keep 2 out of 3 because they only kept 1.
Mm.
Oh, out of what? Betts, Bogarts, and
Rafael Devers.
Oh yeah, Devers.
The one who's here.
yeah.
The one they waited too late to pay, which they haven't seemingly learned from that lesson either.
Yeah.
Jared, have you heard anything in terms of since Casas came back, the whole rehab situation, all that maybe changed like how his teammates look at him or how anyone kind of viewed him? Like, do you think that has influenced this, or is this more like, hey, we have too many pieces here. Casas might just be the one on his way out because we think we can replace him either through free agency, with a third baseman / shortstop or first baseman.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's less that they are. I mean, I'm gonna carefully choose my words here. There may have been like a little bit of a sentiment of when they were still in it, there was like a little bit of frustration that he wasn't back. But I mean, if he's not ready to go, he's not ready to go. I can't really say it was like the sentiment was he should be here versus I wish he were here because we could really use a guy like that right now. I think there's a big difference between he should be here and I wish he were here. If there's anything that ruffles feathers, it's not the fingernails. It's not the, yapping on ESPN. Like, I think that all that stuff can be endearing to people. I think it's more so like when he has these baseball methods and you've got people standing around being like, well, what does that do to make you better? I think that's probably more of it, but none of that is enough for the Red Sox to be like, get the fuck out. Like, it's not like that. I think if he is to go, it's because he's a valuable asset. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't envision a Casas trade, the storyline being that he had to go for reasons other than he's valuable and you have to trade value to get value. I don't think it's going to be some like expose of like his teammates didn't like him. Like, he's a loner. I don't think he's someone where, like when the team goes out, I don't know that like, actually, I don't even know if the fucking team goes out, to be honest. Like,
we
it's
remember
just like
he was part of that group going out with like Devers and Bello a year ago. And there was talk that him and Devers had gotten close. I don't know. That was a year ago, right?
I mean, talk about the ESPN interview. Bello was the one to come out. You know what I mean? Like, they probably still are close, which is kind of rare for position players and pitchers to begin with. But
and even the rookie development program, who was the guy? Like, and this is another thing that sticks out to me. The guy gets called the offseason MVP. He was at Camp Story. He was there with the rookie development program with the big three, kind of being like the big brother to those guys. Yeah. And now it's seemingly like he's the one on the way out here, or the one being framed as maybe the piece that makes the most sense to let go.
That's different though. Like all right, put it this way. If Tristan Casas is traded, I hope that the media doesn't make it a thing where, he had to go. Like he didn't fit, forced out, didn't like this guy. Like, I don't think that that's the case. I think if he were to be traded, it's simply like, we can do something else with first base. If Tristan Casas were right-handed, I don't know that we're talking about trading Tristan Casas. Is that fair to say?
He hits left-handed, Jared. He can't exist here. I do think all of this is spurned by the contract. 1,000%.
That he wouldn't sign that deal like the other two did?
Yeah. I think that's 1,000% why they're doing this. If he was like tearing the cover off the ball, having that MVP type season, I think they're just like, all right, we'll come up to meet your demands. But the fact that he's playing like this, I think Jared's right. They're floating it to like check the temperature a little bit. But I think they ultimately trade him because they didn't take his shitty offer. They've done it time and time again.
And that's where I'll sit here and I'll say, like, yes, you're going to have to clear this log jam in some way. I just hope they go into it with the approach of like, whatever makes the most baseball sense out of every conversation we have here is the way we're going about it. We're not trying to, I hope it's nothing personal with Casas or there's a disconnect in some capacity where they're like, we're leaning towards that. I just hope whatever's the best deal, and you're going to hear 1,000 different offers, and they're going to have 1,000 different calls because there's so many different ways to put this thing together. That just should be the way you approach it.
Yeah.
If they got even a number 3, I don't even care about controllable. If they got a number 3 and next year signed Vladdy, that makes all the baseball sense in the world. Like, you can make tremendous arguments that that's an extremely logical way. You get a right-handed power bat, one of the best in the league, can play first, him and Devers in the middle of your lineup. Even in this Rosenthal piece, they talk about Manny and Ortiz. I can't imagine, other than Soto and Judge, which hopefully only has a fucking month and a half left together, I can't imagine a better photocopy of those two than Vladdy and Devers in the middle of your lineup. I genuinely cannot. But there's a lot of steps that you have to clear to even get that to a conversation. Like,
you better have a feel that
other
Guerrero,
teams also want Vladimir Guerrero.
Yeah, feel out what's going on with him and the Blue Jays, because where they're at, where their window is closing, like, do they cling to him and they're like, this is like what we need, everything else, you know, we're going to sell off Bo Bichette and we're going to do all that shit. Like, he's all we're going to have left of the Blue Jays franchise. Like, that would be my question, because I do think if you go in with a gap at first base, like you have, you've seen how that can derail a team, because it did it to multiple teams before Casas kind of solidified himself there.
Yeah,
trying to.
Do you trade for Vladdy and try to extend him? Like, I don't think that's the road. Like, you have too many bullets. Like, I feel like no pun intended. You have too many bullets that you need to spend on pitching to, you know, I don't know.
Do you guys have a preference over Bregman or Adames? If it's going to be one of those guys?
I mean,
Cole is Adames, right?
Yeah, but I want a third. Like, that doesn't make any sense.
I agree.
Because
I'm right there with you.
Genuinely, here's what I would love. And I know this is the least likely scenario.
This is definitely, and we're going to get a rumor in a month, and it's going to be this exact idea.
No, because it would already be happening, and it's not. Like, they could actually do this today. I hate the way they've handled this September. I know they had to fake pretend like they were still in it. Even at the AAA level, I've hated what they've done, because I haven't seen one. If they really want to move Devers off third, which I think is the biggest part of this, by the way, I don't even know if the Casas thing is the biggest part of it. I think moving Devers off third is the biggest part of it. You love Christian Campbell. Everyone loves Christian Campbell. Fucking Kundal had one of Baseball America writers on this week on Sox Prospects show.
Jeff
and
Pontes?
He was saying
Pontes?
Huh?
Jeff Pontes? Is that how you say his name?
Yeah. He was saying Christian Campbell was going to win minor league baseball's MVP for all of minor league baseball this year. He was going to win MVP. Like, that's the Roman Anthony's their number one prospect. They're going to give the MVP to Christian Campbell, who they said they probably didn't have high enough. What do they have him 25, Tyler?
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, they said he's probably more closer to 5 than 25. That's who they're talking. That's how they're talking. National guys are talking about Christian
more
Campbell.
People probably agree that he's better than Meyer than do not at the moment inside the
right,
organization.
which I don't think is a crazy take at all. I don't think that's insane by any stretch. However, and I know I'm the only one really still talking about this guy, I would have loved to have seen Vaughn Grissom at third. If you think Christian Campbell is going to be your second baseman, I'm talking about at Worcester, not even in Boston.
Just
get some reps. See, we know the arm angle from second's weird. We know he can reach the ball, reach first from shortstop. He's a right-handed bat who's been pulling the shit out of the ball for about a month now. It's not that small of a sample size. He's been pulling it. He's been hitting it hard and far. Obviously, something has changed there. Whether or not it's long-term is different. Defensively, Campbell seems to have won the second base, at least in the hearts and minds of Red Sox Nation. Third base, if you want to move Devers, you don't have to do it expensively. Is signing a guy on the other side of 30 the way to do it? Adames is 29. I understand wanting Adames. I don't understand wanting him at third, really.
To me,
it doesn't make any sense to me.
He's Trevor Story without the Colorado stuff. Like, you're getting the kind of player you hope Trevor Story was going to be.
For sure.
That's it. Someone who
1,000%.
can get you
He's
close
made
to 20
himself
bags.
into quite the ball player over the last couple of years. But one thing I wanted to bring up with the whole Devers thing is moving Devers off third base has more to do with accommodating all these prospects that are coming up more so than like he's a liability. Like watching him play defense in New York, you're like, man, this guy's fucking great. Like, he was making outstanding plays at third base. The way that we talk about Yoshida in left and like Hanley Ramirez in left and like all these guys, like, we cannot Tyler O'Neill at any outfield position. Like, those guys, it's like you cannot play another game at this level at those positions. Whereas Rafael Devers, sure, he's not going to win a Gold Glove or anything, but the plays that he can make defensively, you don't look at him and say, like, were you like a pitcher in college? Like, are you just like trying something new? Like, well, you don't look at him that way. Like, he can go out there and make awesome, spectacular plays at third base. I think if anything else, maybe you're looking at it from the Shohei Ohtani scope of, if you take away one particular part of his game, does that make the other part of his game even better? I would be interested to see that. Yeah, keeping him healthy. I mean, this is a guy that does get banged up a lot. Is that it? Like, because I no part of me is saying, man, they've got to address Rafael Devers at third base. Like, they've got to move him off the position, just move him to DH and get it over with. I feel like since he got called up, we've been saying eventually this guy's going to be a DH. And here we are. I mean, 2017 was how many fucking years ago at this point?
7.
And yeah, it's like 7, 8, but is it 8 seasons? So that's
full-time player in 19. But to me, the argument about moving Devers to DH has less to do with what he can do at third. If you do think, how many years does he have left on the deal? 10,
20.
9?
Yeah.
9.
45 years. But to me, it's like, I almost think trying him at DH makes more sense than trying him at first, because even at first we'll have a sooner expiration date. DH is a position. It's not an easy one. We've seen how long it took Yoshida to adapt. We've seen Hanley was always bad at DH. DH is not an easy position. If we have worries about Devers' focus, which I'm less worried about it than other people, but if you have worries about that, we know how serious JD Martinez took playing DH. Like, he's not just sitting in the dugout scratching his junk waiting for his next at bat. He was grinding tape. He was looking at film. He was getting swings in the cage. He was very ready for his next at bat. He took that shit very seriously. David Ortiz was like taking phone calls and stuff. Like, he just knew he was better than everyone. Devers, maybe he's more that kind of guy, but we won't know until we try it out. If he is DH next year and he's actively bad at it, then you think about moving him to first. But I don't know that moving him to first next should be the move. I think DH absolutely should be. And if he clicks there, yeah, you don't touch him. He's your DH for the rest of his life.
And who told that story about Poppy on the phone? Who was he on the phone with? Like A-Rod? Someone?
I don't remember.
Do you know what story I'm talking about, Tyler? Did you hear that?
No, I don't. This is new to me.
Poppy was like literally in the Red Sox clubhouse because he's a DH, and he was on the phone with somebody, and he was like, hang on one second, I got to go hit. And then he put the phone down and went up and just smashed a home run, came back in the clubhouse and was like, oh, hey, what's up, Poppy? And just like continued his conversation. I forget who.
I think it was A-Rod.
I forget who told the story. I think
it was
whoever.
A-Rod.
I gotta find
like
that
someone
out.
on like, I think it was, because that's why I think they were on the same set when he told it. I think that's
you're
why
right,
it was
Cole.
A-Rod.
That sounds right. Just for number wise, while Jared looks that up, Devers at DH, he's played 21 games, 87 plate appearances, 284, 322, 506. It's an 828 OPS. Super small sample size, but he's competent, right? Like, he's hitting the baseball, which he should. He's Rafael Devers. But even if you move Rafael Devers to DH, the best thing would probably still to get him close to like 30, 40 games in the field. Even if you do that, it's not like, hey, you'll never play defense ever again. No, now you use some of that versatility, which you haven't had, especially if you went and got like a Bregman. It's like, yeah, this is a guy that has a lot of nagging things. He's getting older. This is probably the best way to keep him fresh, you know? Even
this
Amaya.
is Brian Bannister tweeted this when he got into the Hall of Fame.
Oh, right.
Yeah, during games, I would sit on a couch in the clubhouse and monitor video and pitch data on my laptop for any signs of trouble with the pitchers. David would often sit on a couch nearby. I had always loved his infectious laugh and admired his incredible personal style. His ESPN commercial is one of my personal favorites. This one day in particular, he was sitting on the couch opposite me, talking on the phone as usual. Mid-conversation, he remarked, "Hold on a second, I have to go hit." However, this time he did something unusual. He didn't hang up the phone. He just put it down on the couch. I watched him walk down the stairs to the dugout and then appear on TV in the on-deck circle just moments later. Within a few minutes, he was in the batter's box, spits in it on his gloves, claps his hands. Meanwhile, I'm sitting on the couch on my laptop. His phone is still on the couch across from me. The call is still active. I look up at the TV. He goes deep. Unbelievable. He starts trotting around the bases. He crosses home, points up at the sky, high-fiving his teammates. Moments later, he walks up the stairs into the clubhouse and sits down on the couch opposite me. He picks up his phone again and says, "Hey, I'm back. Where were we?" And the phone call had never ended. Absolute legend.
Damn.
Yeah, not everyone can treat it like that. Like you look around the league right now, how many outstanding DHs are there? Obviously, there's Shohei. Does anyone else like jump to mind? JD's still raking.
JD's still doing it, yeah.
Yeah, when he's healthy. There's no one else like jumps to mind, do they?
Shohei Ohtani's pretty good.
Sure, that's what I led off with. I don't think I would have forgotten him.
Jordan's still in the field a good chunk of the time.
Yeah, he plays a decent amount of left.
Yeah. Raul Ibanez.
Yeah. Can't forget Ibanez. But yeah, if they want to trade Casas for a pitcher and then sign Vladdy, twist my arm. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So it's a 2-year plan.
I think it has to be. I don't think you could, because there's no one in the organization other than Devers who even makes remote sense at first.
So then who plays first base next year?
That's what I'm saying. I think it would be Devers, and then they transition him to DH in a year. But I also don't see this team signing Max Fried, Alex Bregman, and Vlad Guerrero over the next 15 months, 18 months, whatever it is.
And then at that same point, though, it's like, well, if their plan or, what they're interested in and floating is that Bregman Adames, it's like, I think that's where that money's going. It's not going towards Vladdy Guerrero. And yes, in a perfect world, should the Red Sox be able to afford whoever they want? Yes. Do we expect them to hand out money like that right now? Probably not, especially when you need to pay a pitcher as well.
No. So you're saying that they should sign up with the promo code Gerrit on the Underdog Fantasy app?
Yeah.
Yeah, because then they can get up to $1,000 in bonus cash if they download the Underdog Fantasy app and use the promo code Gerrit, which is JARED.
And they can use that to sign Max Fried. Yeah.
Yeah.
Please.
I think Max Fried would enjoy Boston. I mean, Bregman would definitely love Boston.
Sure.
Edge-wise, player-wise, that they need that kind of personality in the clubhouse right now.
They need a gamer.
Exactly.
They need a gamer. I mean, Trevor Story is a gamer. His body just won't allow him to be a gamer.
No,
they need a guy whose body will actually allow him to post the way that Duran did this year.
But if I told you Bregman broke down the next 5 years, would you be surprised? I wouldn't.
No.
No. And what is, like, I like Bregman. I'm going to preface that with this. I like Bregman.
You about to crap on the guy?
What do his numbers look like post beach ball era?
He's never been the 40 homer guy that he was.
No, I
he's like a 20 homer guy, like 20 to 30.
Yeah. 23, 25, 23 the last 3 years.
Which, you put him at Fenway Park, right? You're going to get a similar total there, and they need that right-handed thump, and you would be improving your defense significantly. It's just, what does the end of that deal? Like, if he's a year younger than Matt Chapman, are we talking 6 years, like $190 million for him? Like, that's the territory you're getting into. It's elite defense, and at least right now, Matt Chapman had not been himself. He's having a fantastic year this year. Bregman has still been a well above average ball player. He's never really gone in the tank.
I love Bregman.
No.
And he's a winner. Like, he's gone out there and done it in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Red Sox drafted him. People forget. 2012.
Yeah.
Didn't sign him.
29th rounds.
Carson Fulmer as well.
Yeah. No, I like Bregman. I'm not against it. I'm against it if it's tying up future money. That's what I'm very against it. Like, that makes no sense to me.
Yeah.
That would just be very opposite of how the Red Sox have conducted themselves.
How does the money work? Like, if they were to pay Yoshida to play elsewhere, all that money counts against us?
Depends on how they would split up, like what money they'd eat.
Okay.
It'd be like the Chris Sale thing, for example.
Which we all know.
Well, yes. For the Chris Sale thing, they had what was it, $17 million, I believe, of that money, and that was still on the books.
Like that. Okay. Love it.
Love it.
So I don't know. I think the Yoshida thing, like even that whole dinner, what a weird little situation that was, where like he goes out with the entire coaching staff. I don't know if that was them be like, yeah, we know we've like treated you like garbage this year.
Goodbye party.
Yeah.
What?
He went out with the coaching staff last night.
Yeah, Cole was talking about it before the game today.
Yoshida?
Yeah.
He was flipping the meats. They went to like Korean barbecue or something.
Just Yoshida.
Yeah.
With the coaches. Yeah.
probably thought he was gonna get whacked, dude. He's like, these people are gonna fucking kill me. Like, I'm gonna die right inside this building.
Well, I mean, he's been taking his tours. He said, "Fellas, you won't believe the spot I found," and he brought the boys out.
That's crazy.
There's a Mass Live story, I believe, about it.
Unbelievably strange story to come out before the Cora's like, I can't wait to fucking kill Gerrit Cole. But this Yoshida guy, he took us out on the town last night. Well, I didn't know. What a good guy. I'm going to miss him.
He started
I'm
against the
gonna
lefty
miss him.
today, which is another thing in this series, right? With Ref Snyder getting hurt, Wilyer Abreu got to start against the lefty. Masataka Yoshida got to start against the lefty. But Casas can't buy a fucking start against the lefty. Are you kidding me?
Listen, yeah, I can't trade Wilyer. Like, I know I said you could trade all 26. I can't trade
not
Wilyer.
Wilyer.
I can't do it.
His hair is incredible, man.
No,
He
he's
took his helmet off.
Unbelievable hair.
Oh,
A threat.
actually, shout out to Kevin Youkilis. Kevin Youkilis made a point about Casas that I've been saying for a little while now. I brought it up on the baseball hour last week with Maz about how the one thing that annoys me more than anything about Tristan Casas, it's this one thing. It's that he knows his strike zone better than anyone, and he'll take a pitch that's an inch off. But with 2 strikes, you have to protect. Like someone
Don't leave it up to the ump.
And this is more about, I think, the younger generation of hitters than it is about Casas. Like, I see a lot of younger guys doing this, but it's like they would rather strike out and be right that it was a ball than fight off and foul off a pitch that's close to get another one. Hopefully it's a mistake pitch and you drive it somewhere. Like, Casas does this all the time. It's like, okay, fine, you have no strikes, 1 strike on you. Fine, if it's close, then spit on it. If he calls it a strike, whatever, it is what it is. But with 2 strikes, the number of pitches that he'll strike out on, where like, or just leave the bat on his shoulder, not even strike out on, leave the bat on his shoulder for a pitch that's an inch outside, below the zone, whatever have you. And he would just rather go back to the dugout and be like, yeah, I was right. You know, like I looked at the video and that was a ball. It's like, okay, but you struck out. Like, why can't you protect? It's just that's baseball. Like, that is like baseball isn't about like as a hitter.
Agreed.
Huh?
ABS.
It's baseball for now.
For now.
It won't be.
For now.
I'll also add,
It won't be, but it's like it is right now. So without ABS, that's a pitch that you have to fight off. Like, that's the game. Like, it's not just about hitting homers and whatever. Part of the game is, hey, close 2-strike pitch, fucking battle, do something. You know,
I will say for Casas, he did mention within the last week, I think I talked about it on Unobstructed Views when we were on, that he was, trying to get into this mindset now of, hey, I can do damage on a pitch that's outside the zone if I'm in that kind of count and there's no choice, 2 strikes, whatever I need to protect. Have we seen it yet? No, not really. I'll also add, during the second half last year, no one had a word to say. Just like when Joey Votto did what he did for all those years, that was a complaint a lot of those people had during that time was this guy, he cares too much about the friggin' strike zone. He cares too much about working a walk. And he was one of the best hitters in baseball for all that time. If Casas goes back to what he was doing last year in the second half, when he was still, very cautious about swinging anything out of the zone, I don't care. You just got to get him back to where he was in the second half of last year. Be the best version of Tristan Casas, because at the end of the day, it's worked. We've seen it work. You just got to get back to that place. What's the difference between that version of you and the version of you right now? It might be the injury. That might be the difference. I don't know.
Even the first half of last year when he came up, and it was his first time start breaking camp with the club. And his on base was super high, but his average, his power wasn't there. The part of the reason I kept believing in him was he never strayed from what he believed in. That's what got him here. So while it definitely sucks, Jared, when he's not doing anything, if that's the process that got him here, and he's right, like if he were just wrong, if he was just constantly staring at pitches, like he struck out this series on a pitch that was a strike. Like it wasn't, he definitely just got fooled. I don't think that was him being like, no, that was a ball. Like he just got. That happens. That one pissed me off because I can't. Was it Weaver?
Someone, it was like letter high, wasn't it?
No, it was at the knees. No. It wasn't
okay.
today. It was it Saturday? It was either Friday or Saturday. But they were just hammering him low and away, and they were all off the plate. But he was fighting them off. And then the one that gets the plate is the one he watched. That was infuriating. When he's right, I can't be like, I want you to change your stripes, because I've seen how well that works for him.
Yeah. I'm just saying that, like, I noticed it, and Euclid pointed out in the broadcast tonight.
And he admitted he needs to make an adjustment with it. So like that all factors in there.
It's also very weird you hitting the same lineup as Devers, who if he gets one down the middle, he's going to miss it. But if he gets one that bounces off the plate, he's going to hit it 420 feet. Like we have bad ball hitters in the lineup, so it definitely looks stark in comparison.
And once again, for this guy to find his footing and get to where he needs to be, sitting almost 50% of the time over the last 12 games will not get him there. That is not how you treat a player like that. So if you think that is the best strategy, keep fucking doing it for Danny Jansen, who's not going to be on this roster in 2 weeks. Tell me if it's worth it, because it's not. You better go away from this approach, especially now where you're out of this playoff race. You have less than a 3% chance. What the fuck do you get out of Tristan Casas not playing every day? If you don't see him play the next 2 weeks, that will be the biggest statement out of everything. If he's still splitting time and it's only righties, they're telling you we're good.
What if Casas is saying that he doesn't feel right?
From everything that's been put out there,
shut him down. Shut him down entirely.
Like Tanner Houck, shut him down. I don't need to see him pitch again this year. It's done.
No, don't pitch
Go
him.
home. You've done your job. For Casas, Cora on Monday came out and said, listen, I know people are going to wonder. It's matchups. That's what I'm doing. The platoons have worked. We're leaning heavily into it.
They've worked.
That's how he framed it after Monday when the offense exploded.
It's just funny.
Yeah, agreed. Hilarious.
Did we see enough out of Houck, since you just brought him up? Did we see enough out of Houck to be like, that's a guy you can pencil in next year into the rotation? He's going to get you the whole way there? Because I don't know that he answered any questions that we already had about him. Extremely talented.
We didn't know that he was a starter coming into this year.
We didn't know
nobody
that he
would have
was
said
an
he
all-star
was
pitcher.
I'm not saying he didn't have a great year, but he started 28 games. His previous high was last year at 21. Obviously, he was a better pitcher this year. I'm not denying that. The stuff was what the stuff is. Like, he's always been extremely talented, but here we are in September again. He can't go.
Yeah, I don't freak out too much about the innings, because I do think body-wise, he's closer to being, closer to a traditional workhorse. Like, you look at this year, he threw 106 innings last year. He's up to 170 this year. So this is his first time taking on that kind of workload. And I think you've seen the improvements. The walk rate, it's down a full. The home run rate, cut in half. Right? Even the hit per 9 is down almost a full hit. Also, and, first half Tanner Houck was different than second half Tanner Houck. But what gives me hope on Houck is even when he wasn't missing bats to the same degree, he switched to that splitter and was able to be effective. That to me stands out more than anything, that he can succeed in different ways.
Also, I think we're forgetting that in 2022, he had major back surgery.
Yeah, it's true.
Everyone leaves that like
that's a good thing.
I know, but I'm saying, like, when pitchers get elbow surgery or shoulder surgery, we all are like, we remember it, we note it in our brains, and we're like, yeah, this guy's had 2 Tommy Johns. Like, we keep track of it like it's how many fucking Cy Young awards they've won. But a major back surgery is nothing to shake a stick at, and that happened in 2022. So yeah, I think to kind of answer Coley's question, yeah, I think we learned a lot about Tanner Houck this year, but I think next year is like, this is his first full season as a starter in the big leagues. Did he kind of peter out at the end? Yes, but the question that we need to answer next year is he still gassed from 2024 and 2025, or does he get stronger and build off of the 170 innings? That's what we need to answer next year.
What I'm saying is, going into next year, can you pencil him in as your 1 or 2 and feel great about it?
No, shouldn't be your 1 or 2.
Right.
No.
Right.
I think you're sitting pretty if Cutter, Bello,
Houck Bello,
are
Cutter.
your 3, 4, 5. Yeah.
I'd have Giolito over Cutter.
Yeah, I think that's a more than fair conversation. And that goes back to us saying we only think they're going to add 1 starter. So however you want to frame it, if you want to give Giolito the tip of the cap because he has the veteran experience, call it Giolito.
Again,
Houck.
that's not.
I'm using it. Call it Giolito, Houck, Bello, Cutter. Like, that's solid. I wouldn't say that's amazing. It's solid.
You just got to tip your cap to Giolito when he comes back.
I think if you're not looking at Cutter as a 6, you're already kind of like punting the playoffs.
What do you not like about Cutter? Just the home runs?
No, I mean, my initial knee-jerk reaction when Cutter first came up, what was that, 2 years ago at this point? 2-3 years ago? Was it 20? No, it wasn't 21. It was 22, right?
Initially as a reliever.
22, he comes up. My first reaction was, oh, this is a bad team pitcher. And I still kind of think that. Like, he goes out, and when it's a bad team, he shoves. And now, has he pitched well against good teams? Absolutely. Has he gotten his dick pushed in by mediocre teams? Yes. Warm months this year, the long ball was very prevalent. And if Giolito, who also led the league in home runs last year, is going to come next year, I don't love both of them. I don't hate the idea having this conversation about how Giolito coming back and Cutter of going with a 6-man rotation next year. I know they're not going to do that. I know most, really no MLB teams do that, but I wouldn't hate that.
I think the Cutter conversation, I can understand if people are a little nervous about him overall, but at the end of the day, he's the only guy on this team who made 30 starts this year. He made number 31 today. And say what you will, yes, it's like a 4.20 ERA, and the FIPS are higher. Yes, you're right. But he made 30 starts. That's another thing like Houck, right? Houck didn't get to 30. He showed, for a guy many questioned whether he could get through a full season, he can make 30 starts and get you there. I think he's fine as a number 5. Now, I don't disagree with you if you want to make him compete for that during camp. Give yourself that depth. But I think you already have the guys who are going to be competing for that number 5 spot, right? You're going to have Quinn Priester, who is going to be sitting at AAA, punching his way up. Dick Fitz is going to be punching his way up. Zach Penrod, more likely than not, they're going to put him back into that starter role. Can you kind of push your way up? So I think that's where you're going to see a lot of that. But for Cutter this year, do I think it was perfect? No. You give up the most homers in the sport, people are going to look at you weird. But still, it wasn't a lost year. It was
stop
just
the Red Sox from paying Giolito.
No, it's a number 5 arm. Like that's what he was. And I think there's upside when you talk, chase percentage. He's in the 87th percentile. Worst comes to worst, yeah, he probably is an elite reliever. But right now, yeah, I think he's a fine back end starter.
I don't think he's bad either, but that's almost where I would love to pick and choose his starts. Like, I just like handing him one every 5th time through feels like I don't see a huge difference between him and Pivetta, for instance. Like, I don't see that big of a difference. And most people fucking hate Pivetta. So that's where I don't.
The difference for me is the strikeouts. Like, Pivetta is going to punch out or be able to punch out way more than Cutter is.
Sure. Yeah. I definitely think you could argue Pivetta has way more talent. I don't think that's an unfair thing.
Yeah.
But even today, like, obviously Baseball Reference doesn't update their numbers for a week and a half. The 30 starts, 167 innings. So he's had more starts than Houck and less innings than Houck over those starts. So that's where it's just like, if I have questions about Houck, obviously I think I have questions about Cutter. Like, Bello, obviously people have plenty of questions about. They already paid him 1. And B, I've been begging for 2 years to make him your number 3 at most. Like, make him your number 4, please. That'd be great.
Yeah, to me, it's like with Cutter, and this is where you got to look at your pitching philosophy and your infrastructure. Do you believe the home runs are going to be a 1-year thing, or are they going to be an issue every single year? If you believe you can get the homers down, he's
not going to throw any harder.
That's it. He's not going to throw any harder. And you look at last year, the K/9 was 9.4. It was 8.3 this year. And the velocity has been up and down over the course of the year. If you believe you can cut the homers down, it's like, oh, yeah, definitely. You should continue to give him rotation starts, especially because he's cheaper as well, right? You got him under team control. But would I look at him and say, like, without a doubt, I know he's going to be a great starter moving forward? No, I don't think he's a number 3. I think he's a number 4 or number 5, depending on the year, like one of those. And more likely than not, he's proven he can be healthy so far, but I'm always going to worry there's going to be something nagging with that kind of, he has that Giolito arm path, the short one that has led to injuries in the past.
Yeah, and coming into today, I know would he give up 4 today? All 4 were on him. So it was a 409 coming into today. Last year was a 404. Yeah, so that got basically the same thing over 2 years. Like, last year was 1.2 home run per 9. This year was 1.7. Like, obviously that's a big jump, even if it doesn't read like it. I don't know. Like, I like him. I like having him. I hope they're not planning on making Whitlock a starter again. They really haven't said anything. They haven't talked about him. Obviously, we're talking about we have holes in the bullpen. We've seen Whitlock at his best in the bullpen. Maybe they're smart and they're like, we're going to plug a hole with this guy. But yeah, I would love to see Priester, Cutter.
There's plenty of holes. I mean, I think Winkowski took a step back this year.
For sure.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, like, Priester is the most interesting name that we've said so far.
No doubt.
If we're going to talk about, like, I mean, the more that we talk about it out loud when to Lou's point about they may get one starter max, it's like, okay, well, tell me how it fills out from there. Because if it's Giolito, Bello, Houck, I mean, Cutter's the outside looking in man, or are we going to give a shot to someone else? Like, depending on what Quinn Priester looks like at AAA by May 25th of next year, like, I'm not married to the idea of Cutter staying in the rotation, and I certainly do not want to give that spot to Garrett Whitlock.
No. I mean, you look at the battle they had this year. How was the man on the outside looking in? So you also have to question, like, are they evaluating their own guys correctly? Yeah. This was from September 10th at Red Sox Stats. You should give him a follow, Jared. I know you've never heard of him. Sox are limiting Quinn Priester to 70 to 80 pitches, but his last 4 starts, he's gone 18 and 2/3 innings, 24 Ks with 55 whiffs. Almost all bad contact allowed. So the tinkering they've done has worked to this point, obviously. Some guys in AAA have gotten called up to the majors. Other guys have gotten called up from AA. So it's a little bit of a mixed bag right now. But you can only base it off of what he's done. I think for sure, I've seen people talk about him adding weight this offseason. He's still young, 23, 24, like still young, can do that. We talked to him. He's very much wants to get back to Major League Baseball. Very motivated young man. So, yeah, I mean, we've seen Dick Fitz now twice. No earned runs, still not the most electric starts we've ever seen.
Not missing a ton of bats either.
No, which is it's kind of his MO. Like, that's what he's done at every level. Obviously, at AAA recently, he's been a lot better. And the majors, he hasn't been shit on by any means. He hasn't been bad, but I think we comfortably have him last in this discussion out of all these people. I think it's fair to say, like, having him as your 6th, 7th man. We've seen how much Cooper Criswell's pitched this year. It's pitching. Guys are going to get hurt. Having him at AAA is something the Red Sox have not had in recent years. It's a luxury
to have him, Fitz, Priester, Hunter Dobbins, Penrod, and you kind of feel yourself out. What'd you say?
Connolly early should be up in that AAA mix next year.
More likely or not, he's been really good over the last 2 months in typical, Wilkelman Gonzalez fashion. He shows up at the end of the year. He's going to be pushing. So, like, you're going to have legit options at AAA to kind of balance. I'll also say for Cutter, he deserves the same kind of room that Tanner Houck gets when you're talking workload. Like, do I think the first 2 months of Cutter where he was one of the best pitchers in baseball is what he actually is? No.
It's like 0.79 ERA through May, something like that.
It's a 3.79 expected ERA on the year, which obviously calculates differently than FIP. But I think he's done enough to, deserve a spot in the rotation. But would I say, if you want to go nuts and go add a bunch of arms and he gets put on the outside? No, it's not the end of the world because he'd be a great relief arm if need be.
Yeah, or again, you guys need, we're not going 5 guys getting 30 starts anymore. No. The baseball we grew up with is super dead. So to act like this is our rotation will need no help the rest of the Dodgers added pitching this year. They're talking about maybe starting Shohei or pitching Shohei in October. Excuse me. If they went out and signed 2 starters and also traded for one, I think that's the way to be like, we're very serious about our pitching next year.
No, that's not crazy. I think that would be the kind of approach that people would be like, all right, they're serious. You're not going to have the same situation where one guy goes down and it's the end of the world because most spring training, someone's going to blow their elbow out. That's just the unfortunate reality, and you accept it, and then it kind of reshapes your season. But in that case, they'll probably tell you, well, hey, we'd be happy for Quinn Priester to move into the rotation and get these starts. Is that the kind of attitude when you're trying to win that year? No, that's the attitude you've had the last 3 years.
Right. Like and I'm not saying, obviously, I'm not trying to contradict myself from earlier in the show where I said there are multiple free agencies. I'm not saying go sign Burns, Fried, and if Snell opts out, like now you're all set.
Call it Fried in a trade, though.
But if you do look at it in tiers, not even that, but even if you just stuck with free agency, because obviously a trade, which sounds like they've already worked out behind closed doors with the Mariners.
Casas is on the Mariners right now.
Right. Yeah. They're like, can we just use them? Like, we're right now. But if you go out and you give Fried, which I don't think is a guarantee by any stretch.
No.
I know you floated Shane Bieber. I don't know what his market's going to look like.
But I will say, Tommy John recovery wise, he's probably going to need a couple weeks in the start of the season. That might sell them to them even more.
Yeah, that's what I mean. And then you look at a guy who's obviously prone to getting hurt as well, but you look at Severino, who I'm shocked they weren't more in this last offseason. I know why they weren't, because they couldn't be like, here's our big signing, $12 million, always injured Luis Severino. Do you think he's going to put together 2 healthy years in a row? Who knows? But that's why, if we're talking about this depth, if Cutter in the middle of the year has to be in that rotation for a couple of weeks, and then you can send him to the bullpen for the stretch, stuff like that, because guys come back, that's what like a real competing rotation and roster looks like. Right,
like
there.
Derek Lowe-esque, like something like in that range. That's not crazy. That's a back-end starter.
Yeah, I think there's a lot. I just don't think they can go into next year being like, we already have 4 guys, we just need 1. That to me is insanity.
Yeah. I forgot to mention Chris
You're
Wall as
limping
well.
to the finish line this year with a bad team like that. You can't, if you're trying to sell the team on winning, you have to add at least 2 for agency trade. However, you need to add at least 2 and then hope Priester or Cutter or one of these other guys establishes himself.
And you can have the conversation, Giolito, like he's not going to be a long-term fixture here. So in a year, if it's like, well, Cutter probably makes the most sense as that back end starter, you reopen that conversation right there. I'd still pencil him in for now. I think he earned that this year. I would just say, yeah, you shouldn't use that as a reason not to pursue multiple starting pitchers. If you're trying to be serious, that's how you should act. I just don't believe they will.
Yeah, if they're talking about replacing Casas, you should be open to talking about replacing other players who have been worse.
Because if you start to pair it, like if your bullpen was something along the lines of Whitlock, Cutter, Hendricks, Fulmer, Slayton you throw in there too. So it's like Whitlock, Slayton, Cutter, like this young trio that's going to kind of lead our bullpen. Guerrero, Penrod, who've both looked really good so far. Now you're starting to see at least an idea what the future looks like. And you need to go pay somebody. You need to go find whatever reliever. Some people are talking Tanner Scott because that's a lefty you could throw in the 8th inning. I'm not against it, but it's going to be expensive. You're looking at 4 years, probably $48 million or something like that.
Like, I think my biggest problem with Guerrero, and I know Guerrero hasn't been like this perfect prospect just sitting in AAA all year. My problem with how, not even just this year, in years past, Heim, everybody, they just kind of aren't risking anything with guys that you can just pull up and down. Like, I feel like Zach Kelly got such a long leash for really no reason. Like, Guerrero's been ready for a little bit. Penrod obviously would have been up a little bit earlier if he didn't get the shin injury. But even if you look at a team like the Tigers have had this weird thing where every pitcher they've called up has supremely outperformed their AAA number, like almost halved their ERAs, if not more. Every guy they've called up. Now, is that going to happen with every player? Of course not. That's not how baseball works. It's not how life works. But I do think you can over marinate players. You can just keep guys down there too long. And the Red Sox, even go back to 18, like they'll just let a guy they know stinks stay around for way too long. Even Zach Kelly, like I'm not out on Zach Kelly.
I think the Red Sox really love Zach Kelly, like internally.
Well, he's got great stuff.
Yeah,
I don't disagree with
They
that.
look at the stuff and they're like, yeah, he's got the best stuff. It's the same reason why fucking Caleb Ort had a job here for so long. They're like, yeah, he sucks, but his stuff is great. Like they're looking at the stuff plus. And it's like, you can fall in love with these newfangled statistics too much, where it's like, okay, he's got great stuff, but guess what? He's getting fucking crushed almost every time he goes out there. That's great that he has awesome stuff, but his numbers are fucking atrocious. I'm not talking about Zach Kelly. I'm just saying like, a
lot of guys. The Yankees just did it with their closer for 3 months. They were like, listen, he's going to get out of it. No, he's not.
Right. It's like, yeah, we don't want to be too reactionary because he's got great stuff. Cool. He's got a fucking 6 ERA. Like, what are we talking about?
Yeah, I thought Guerrero, you should have had him up in August at some point when everything was burning down around you. It was like, this has to be at least worth a shot. Just let him go out there and try it. Penrod was obviously tricky, like we talked about, between the injuries and getting him into a bullpen role. I thought even earlier in the season, like Ryan Zefferjon for a quick, hey, come up here, let's see what you got and get the hell out if it doesn't work, was always on the table, but they flipped him to the Angels. And he went through basically what Guerrero was going through at the time. But next year, I think, is a big test. And maybe this is how you look at some of those AAA arms where it's like, hey, Richard Fitz, we like you a lot, but we're going to have Priester and Dobbins and Cooper Criswell sitting at Worcester. Let's put you into a bullpen role and accelerate this and see if you can be an important arm for us this year. You got to start making decisions on some of these players a little bit quickly or a little faster. Even like Josh Winkowski, it's like, show some conviction with what you think he is long term. Don't bounce him back and forth until he's a broken toy. We remember last year he was, your third most dependable reliever pitching in huge spots. This year, he's on mop-up duty for the 7th, 8th, and 9th inning when you're up 6 runs.
But that's like even Kelly next year, if they're going to give him like the 6th, clean inning in the 6th when you're up 2 or 3 runs or down 2 or 3, like I think that's great, because again, the stuff I think plays there. Right now, I feel like he's been our most high leverage reliever for like 2 months, and that's obviously like we talk about Cutter at 1.7 home runs per night. He's at 1.6. It's the same fucking guy. Like that's insane to keep using him like that.
Yeah, when he came in to that spot, it was what, 4-0 or 4-1 at that time? 4-1, right? So like you're up 3 runs, obviously, a little bit of a tricky spot, but if you can't get outs in that spot, I think that's why the demotion was immediately. It was like, we can't throw you here, we can't throw you anywhere.
And Guerrero, even when they call him up, they just have him sit around for a while. And it's just like, I don't know. They need to have a couple guys in their bullpen. They just need to be. And they talk about flexibility so frequently, and it's like they don't realize they can be flexible with the bullpen, especially with AAA. Like you should have multiple guys with options in your bullpen, like every team does, and you can just trade them back and forth. Because we've also seen guys come up for their first time, stink, get sent back down, come back and be really good. Like that's an option too. So just find out, but try shit more like quicker. Like just try shit quicker.
I think Brian Mata we're going to see before the end of the year. Seemingly, Cora was expecting that, so we may finally get an idea what he looks like, and he's going to need to be protected at the end of the day. So if he can friggin' come in here and do something, that might be a conversation. Lucas Sims is also coming back. He's down in Worcester right now, so we're going to get him for the last 10 days to hang out.
Why?
Maybe it's an audition to come back next
Why?
year.
That was a funny, very funny tweet today. It was just like Lucas Sims has a locker here in Worcester, and he's here for some reason. Like no one knows. Like, dude, you're about to hit free agency. What are you doing? Like, even for you, just rest. Like, no, it's okay. No one's gonna be mad at you.
If the Red Sox, like, he's their first signing, like cheap, nothing, like crazy to look at. He's gonna be, your 6th inning, 7th inning arm because they like the stuff.
I wouldn't mind that.
You could do worse. It's still
definitely do worse.
I didn't love the
Just do it now, then. Though, if that's the thing, just do it now.
Ugh.
Yeah, I guess. But yeah, if Lucas Sims came back, I'm not unhappy about that. But I mean, that can't be the one fucking bullpen move that you make. But yeah, we need to get a read in here. Blue Moon, love Blue Moon. Shout out to Blue Moon. Some beers can say that they're brewed for baseball, but only Blue Moon is brewed by baseball. Beer and baseball, they just go together, and no beer goes better than the one that was literally born in a ballpark. Blue Moon was created at Coors Field in Denver, Colorado. It's the natural choice for opening day and all season long. Tyler, how many Blue Moons do you have this past weekend?
13.
Obviously spread out the whole weekend, right? Responsible.
Yeah, so 4, 3, and then 6 today.
Okay. You had 6 today?
Yeah, man. The Tristan Casa stuff really threw me off. Off my game.
Yeah, I feel you. But Blue Moon probably made you feel better because it's the best beer in the world from its refreshing flavor with Valencia orange peel for a subtle sweetness and hints of coriander. Blue Moon Belgian style wheat ale is a one-of-a-kind beer that's made brighter. It's carefully crafted and full-flavored with refreshing notes and a smooth, creamy finish. Blue Moon was brewed by baseball to give you a dose of nostalgia and get you excited for the new season. Why strike out with the same old beer when you can get something that is one of a kind? Its bold flavor, bright explosion of color, and iconic orange slice ritual guarantees a one-of-a-kind beer experience that is perfect for spring weather. Best served with its signature orange garnish to showcase its beautiful hazy color. A beer this good only comes around once at a Blue Moon, but you can enjoy it all season long. Bring the ballpark to you with Blue Moon Belgian style wheat ale. It's a one of a kind every time. Get Blue Moon delivered by visiting get.bluemoonbeer.com/Jared to see your delivery options. That is get.bluemoonbeer.com/Jared. Blue Moon, made brighter, celebrate responsibly. Blue Moon Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
Suck one.
And suck one. Was there any what other stories were there that we wanted to hit on? Besides Joe Castiglione, that feels like an ender.
Right, I agree with that.
Closer.
I don't feel like we just hit a bunch of them in that last conversation.
Yeah, we did big picture talk, which, you know, it's okay to say. We're there. It's big picture talk time. It's not series recap time. Season's cooked. If you disagree, then you're just an asshole. Or this is your first time watching a baseball season before.
That guy will be on the subreddit by tomorrow morning.
Oh, yeah.
Being like,
Sure.
they
Sox
fucking gave
things.
up on this team.
Sox
you just got to
things.
believe,
Hey,
man.
listen, if this team wins the World Series, you can point and laugh at me. You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
every
If this
day for
team
the rest
wins
of the time.
The 2024 World Series, hand up. My hand will be the first
Yeah,
one up.
I missed on that one. Yeah, if they make the playoffs.
Right, any of it. Yeah.
If they get within 2 games of a playoff spot, I'll be like,
Now
hand
you're
up.
getting a little.
What?
The ML
When's the
the
last time that
MLB
they were within 2 games? It's been weeks.
Yeah, it's been quite some time. You're not wrong.
Yeah.
The MLB tweeted out like the playoff races in the 2 leagues, and the Red Sox aren't even on the graphic anymore.
No,
you know what I
that's
mean?
exactly.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like if we sweep the Twins, that just helps the Mariners. You know
The
what I mean?
Tigers
Like,
and Mariners got 2 games on you. Good luck.
right. Like it's not when we were the team at least behind the Twins, it made sense. We're the team behind 2 teams behind. Like we're not in it.
We
It's okay.
we got to play 800 ball and 4 teams have to almost lose out at this point.
right, which they did that last month, and we didn't hold up the end of the bar.
Yeah, that whole thing already happened. The whole just wow, we can't win a fucking game in a week's time. Damn, that's crazy.
You also
that,
have
that happened. You didn't capitalize at all.
Yeah, and the Rays are coming up who are only 2 games behind you. Like they're right there. So you really want to go
Right.
shit your bed for 3 days. Like you could have fun in 4th place. And then the Blue Jays, they're 3 games behind you, and you got them right after that.
Oh yeah, last place is super on the table.
Super on the table.
What?
Extremely on the
You
table.
keep choosing not to hit the baseball, good luck to you. Like, this is going to be the outcome. You're going to keep pitching, you're going to play bad defense, and your bullpen shits the bed. Like, you play the worst baseball possible for a team with a bad bullpen. You can't score any friggin' runs, so
And
every
defense.
single game is close. It's the worst strategy of all time.
I mean, Thursday and Friday. I keep saying Friday and Saturday. 4-game series is so fucking weird. Thursday and Friday, it was just like watching the whole season unfold in 2 games. Like,
Yeah.
it was like, they could very easily win this. And it's just like Thursday comes around, million opportunities in clutch situations. No one comes through. Saturday, you have that game won. Like, you just don't. You just choose not to.
Trevor Story, turns the clock back for 2 days. He gets a 2-hit game and a 3-hit game with a homer. Like, you think you get more out of a series like that. At least split it.
Yeah, I
Richard
didn't
Fitz
care.
having to start after Tanner Houck gets scratched and still gives you 5 when he looked like he was going to fall completely on his face in the first inning.
Yeah, that Grand Slam, I really didn't.
It was funny.
Yeah, like it was just like, man. Yeah, it was predictable. You could feel it coming. It was the right guy for it. Like if it was fucking DJ LeMahieu, you'd be like, what the
I'd
fuck?
be furious.
Yeah, but it's like, it's Aaron Judge. You're like, yep, all right, cool. See you later.
What
Just
kills
enjoy the rest of the night.
me, like the only I gave up on the season before everyone. Well, Tyler gave up in spring training. I gave up
That's true.
once the season started before everyone else. And it's like, this has been a dead team for some time now. Yankee fans fucking high stepping. Like, I thought he wasn't clutch. I thought he didn't have big moments. Like, what happened?
Define
to a
big moment.
proud organization. Like, Gerrit had the same thing happen to him. Guy was talking about division titles. Like, you guys are owning yourself. Like, it's so sad what's happened. That, like, the Court Nestor is right. Like, it's not a rivalry, and it's Yankee fans who killed it. Like, you guys are celebrating the wrong shit. You guys have moved the goalposts so far, you forget what they used to be.
Yeah.
It's not division banned. No one gives a fuck about when the Red Sox were winning World Series. We often didn't win the division. Like, that's not what we did. We would win the wild card when it was only one team, and then we'd win the World Series. Like, what happened? What happened to you people?
It's crazy.
Sad.
It truly is crazy. I mean, I would love to sit here and say that the rivalry's back, and man, after a series like that where you've got Cora saying that they threw at us, it's like, man, that's the spark we need. Like, we will move on from this, and nothing will come from it. It won't carry over to next year. We'll all forget about it. and this series we won't remember it a year from now. Like it's just, we're just not there. I would love to have the Red Sox Yankees rivalry back. It's not even like one of those things where it's like, yeah, we grew out of it. It's not cool anymore. We just all moved on. Like, no. Like it'll come back someday. But what really pisses me off about the whole rivalry thing is the 2019 team. Like after winning in 2018, that run was supposed to continue. It could not have come to a more abrupt and unpredictable end immediately after 2018. Like I remember after the Red Sox won the World Series in 2018, I remember New Year's Eve talking to Cora. The ball just dropped. It's 2019. Texting him being like, dude, we could do it again. Like we're bringing back basically the same team. Like, let's do it again. And that was my thought on New Year's Eve going into 2019. Then the next year, having an abomination of a roster. And I mean, it's our fault. Like I'll hand up. It's the Red Sox fault why the rivalry it got snuffed out. Like we're not holding up our end of the bargain.
No doubt.
That's why, when Yankee fans are like, chirping at me and shit, I'm like, listen, you shut the fuck up. Like I understand.
Well, even during this period, we still own you.
We
Sorry.
suck. Like we're a lot of years in last place, but in between all that, we still own you.
Check 2021.
Like how many different points? How many times do I have to teach you this, old man? How many different points do I have to make? The Red Sox record against the Yankees in the playoffs since the ALCS in 2004, like it is domination. How many times have we eliminated you from the postseason when we go head to head? Every time. The individual performances, Brock Holt like stamping his nuts on your forehead with a cycle at Yankee Stadium in a game that was an absolute bloodbath. The fact that the Red Sox have doubled you up this century in World Series titles, doubled you up, brother. And the fact that the highest paid pitcher in baseball history, before Yamamoto, so your highest paid pitcher, whatever, still the highest paid at the time when you signed him, he has a 6 ERA against us. Like in my lifetime, in my adult years, we fucking own you. And they will come at you and say, well, how many division titles do you have? What? Division titles? I mean, now, like, I don't know. It's like not even cool to win the division anymore. You just get in. Like if I'm a baseball fan, I just want my team to get in. I don't really like. It's cool to win the division. Like it's obviously nice to be able to, for bragging rights, to get in and say, yeah, we're in first place. Woo, we have a good team because we were in first place. I mean, how many fucking since they introduced the wild card, like the 6 wild card or whatever, the 3 wild card spots in the 6th seed. How many of those fucking teams have won the division, won the World Series? I don't even know. You just got to get in. Like, just get me in there. Yeah, fuck it. Who cares?
Ask the Braves how much they enjoy winning the division. They don't. But you look at 2019, obviously that story that whole year is what's going to happen with Mookie. You had Xander had a 939 OPS. You had Devers, his first full year, at a 916 OPS. Mookie had a 915. JD had a 939 OPS. And you had Eddie at the top of the rotation with a 381 over 34 starts. He went 19-6. None of these guys are here. No, other than Devers, none of them are here. Like, yeah, they very much did it to themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And they talk about like, oh, we had to rebuild the farm system. Did they do any of those things via trade? Are any of these players that we all talk about via trade? No, they're all just draft picks. Every last one of them.
Andrew Kastner at the trade deadline. That was the move because they didn't want to sell.
The big get.
They were in between.
That was the big get. Well, either way, I'm not worried about the Yankees this year. It's not like there's definitely been years where it's like,
they don't
man, the Red
like
Sox
World
suck
Series
and
winner.
the Yankees are a threat to win the World Series. Oh, that sucks. Like I'm just not. It's not a concern to me this year.
Like we're too much in these games.
They're not historically good. But the league is down across the board. That worries me.
Like whatever team gets hot at the right time will end up winning it all.
I don't even know if you have to get that hot. Like I don't
be competent.
know. Like I was thinking like, oh, this is a perfect Braves year. They might not even make the fucking playoffs, you know? Like they might not make the playoffs. I'm pulling for the Padres.
But look at the Orioles, right? Like a team that has not been themselves. I saw they haven't won a series against a team above 500 since July 4th. That's absurd.
Well, it's
the Orioles?
That. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm ready to put the diamond tester to the Baltimore Orioles. Jared remembers me shitting on the Seattle Mariners a couple of years ago and being very correct about the Seattle Mariners. I'm starting to feel that way
they still
about
got
the Orioles.
there. Fuck you.
I'm starting to feel that way, but that was like 2 years after I said it. I'm starting to feel that way about the Orioles.
They're also, I know Grayson Rodriguez is hurt right now, but Corbin Burns isn't going to be there next year. So like someone's going to have to step up and be their ace.
Well, either way, that's it. That's it for 2024.
Was there anything else from this series? Doesn't feel like it.
No, I just legit scroll through all these notes. I'm like, none of this is important.
No. Jake, you got anything you want to say?
Yeah, if I was catching any playoff games, I'd definitely be using Game Time.
Yeah. And we're going to, because I believe we're gonna go to some playoff games. I know we're gonna be doing streams at Casa de Carabas for the wild card. But after that, I don't know. We could probably venture out a little bit. I know Operation Dr. Wiener goes down this weekend.
I was going to say, we're going to be looking at a playoff team real close.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to Kansas City.
Mm-hmm.
We're doing the hot dog race.
Mm-hmm.
Me and Jared. It sounds like we're going up against fucking like Olympic track stars, the way they were selling it to us.
Yeah. They're like, you better stretch. I was like, I'm not.
Are you guys, Jared,
I don't run hard at all.
Do you run? I've never seen you move like that before.
I don't move like that. I won't move like that.
Just go down.
Yeah, and it's the second day we're going to be in Kansas City, so I'm gonna have a lot of barbecue in my system. I mean, I asked the guy, I was like, would you like it if I just outright tackled Jared? He was like, that'd be great. It's like, all right.
I hope you do.
Like...
Yeah, I hope you do. I mean, I don't want to run. I'm just going to tell the Royals, listen, guys, I've been pissing myself recently.
I'm going through some shit.
Yeah, I've been dealing with some stuff recently. I'm going to piss this wiener, You
just start pissing yourself. What's the race?
Yeah. You're holding a costume hostage. Like, I'll fucking do it. I'll do it right now.
Yeah,
Run on your toes, Jared.
Up, I'm going to piss this wiener if you don't allow me to throw this race.
Yeah, but if you're going to be in the Kansas City area on Saturday, September 21st,
yeah,
come out. Come out to Kaufman, watch me and Jared in big wiener costumes. The best way to do that, easily Game Time.
Yeah, I would say download that Game Time app. Game Time has a new feature called Game Time Picks that makes getting tickets for your favorite live events even easier. Game Time Picks filters out the fluff to show you only incredible deals on great seats, so you don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets. I don't know how many tickets are available for September 21st at the K, but if you want to see Dr. Wiener sprinting his relish off, then boy, is that a game for you to show up to at the K. Who are we playing?
It's a World
Braves?
Series rematch.
The Mets?
No, it's Royals Giants.
Oh.
The G.
Wait, didn't they play? I'm thinking
Yeah, it was the year
World
before.
Series.
It's
Yeah.
14.
Got it. Game Time Picks. The curation makes it easier to save more on sports, concerts, comedy, theater, and more. All-in pricing. You toggle that feature, and it'll show you the total upfront with no surprise fees at checkout. Get a panoramic view from your seat in the app before you buy. The lowest price guarantee or Game Time will credit you 110% of the difference. Your purchase is covered with the most flexible customer service policy in the ticketing industry today. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use the promo code SECTION10 for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account, use the promo code SECTION10, that is SECTION10 for $20 off. Download the Game Time app today. Tyler, what time is it?
Game time.
Yeah, it's game time. It is game time. Wait, so does that mean we don't do the Stop and Shop look ahead anymore? Because who cares?
I'm not against that.
Doesn't bother me.
We do got to do Castig talk, though.
Yeah, I know.
Well, you've been forgetting some things lately, not to call you out, but
Wow.
Yeah, no, I was actually, I even said I was going to take a suspension for forgetting Taiku's, and the people on the Reddit said, don't worry about it, brother.
that's why I was hurt at the end of last episode. I thought you'd actually care enough to remember, and then I was just like,
no, I do care. I do care, you fucking asshole. I felt really bad about it.
No, you gave me that pity gif. You gave me the pity gif. You haven't reacted to a haiku in 3 months, and you respond to that one when, at this point, it was just you feeling guilty. Don't suspend me for that.
No, bang him.
No,
Bang
Coley,
him.
I'll bang you, okay? Hold your finger.
Whoa!
You literally can't. I mean, it
That's-
sounds like you're going to get in line behind all the moms of this show.
Yeah. All right, hold on. We need to sort through this right now. Because, put it this way, I forgot that I forgot the Taiku's. So
Exactly.
yeah, so I saw your Taiku the other night, and I gave a genuine reaction like this Taiku slaps, and now you're trying to say that was disingenuous? You're
It
saying
felt
I didn't
pity.
mean that?
It felt like pity.
I would never give you false praise. I would just
It
ignore
barely
you.
gives you real praise. It's definitely not going to be false.
Yeah, I don't do faux praise.
I'm not used to being loved.
I just gave you a big hug the other day.
Hey, let's all take a step back. We're not. Yeah, you did. That was actually a very nice hug. Martha took a picture of us that I'm going to send to you. I don't know
Send
why
it to me
she
right
was
now.
doing it. I don't
Send
have
it to me
on-
right now.
Hold on, let me text her.
What do you mean you don't have it? You didn't ask for it the second you said.
We were together and she showed it to me.
So,
He said
okay,
delete it.
all right, yeah. The second that she showed you that picture, why wasn't your reaction? Yo, text me that.
I didn't think I wasn't ready. I just
Get out of here. That's crazy. That's crazy. Anytime my girlfriend takes a picture and it's like really cute, I'm like, text me that. I'm like, oh, we went apple picking the other day and we took a picture together. She took it on her phone. I saw it on her and I was like, text me that. Why didn't when you see that picture of me giving you a hug, that's like the best moment of your fucking life. Why didn't you say, Martha, text me that? You didn't even ask for it. Why?
hold on.
Why?
I'm getting it right now. It's gonna be okay.
Answer the question.
No, answer the question.
Why didn't I ask her to send it to me?
Why did it not occur to you that when you saw the picture that you would ask for the picture if it was that meaningful to you? Why didn't you ask for
I
it?
was scared if it was in my possession, I would do things to it that would not be
Well, Tyler,
respected.
let's flip it around here for a second.
okay. Flip it.
And Coley, back me up on this. The literal second that you told me that picture existed, I asked for it.
You did.
Immediately.
Immediate. Could not have asked for it quicker.
Pictures of me make me uncomfortable, so I don't like when I have to look
That's
at them.
not true. You've been
Extremely. Do you notice I didn't put out any pictures from Section 10 night on my thing?
Well, yeah, that's because you don't know how to download from
No.
Dropbox.
It makes me uncomfortable going through the pictures.
No.
I'm cringing at myself.
No.
Yes, that's why I don't
No,
ever
no,
use
no,
Instagram
no,
like
no.
that.
No. You're just not technologically advanced.
I'm
You're
gonna
just not
post
one.
this picture of me and you right now because you're talking about this, and people
Yeah,
are gonna
great
see
time to post.
how tight you were holding me in that moment.
Okay.
11 p.m. on a Sunday is the posting hour.
You know what? We'll
Everyone knows
post it tomorrow morning.
No, I wouldn't. No, because if I don't see it in the next 5 minutes, I swear to fucking God, 5 minutes. If I don't see this
Martha,
picture,
please hurry. He's
so
counting
she hasn't
down.
even sent it yet.
No, I'm texting her. She said which one, the hugging one, and I said yes, please.
All right, I'm gonna give her 90 seconds, and then once you have it,
that.
you have
Martha might catch her first suspension right
Yeah.
now.
She said
Tell
I'm
her.
trying. OMG.
Martha
Try
has
harder.
90 seconds. What are you texting her? Please.
I said try harder.
Martha, please. Send the picture. I'm giving Martha 90 seconds, a generous 90 seconds, and then once you have it, you have 30 seconds.
No,
Okay, I
that's
still
not
don't
gonna do
see
it.
the picture. Yeah.
Not gonna do
I don't
it.
want the first time I see it to be on your pixelated fucking
I'm
ghetto
sorry.
ass camera
This is an iPhone 15. Excuse me.
that you're filming on right now.
Oh no. This is the Logitech something.
Okay, yeah.
No free ads.
People send
Yeah,
me
no free ads.
webcam recommendations. I'm looking for a new one.
Who the hell has webcam? I have a webcam. Honestly, okay, here's a funny story. I lost a bet to Amir Garrett, the very same Amir Garrett that beat the shit out of the entire Pittsburgh Pirates dugout.
Love
And-
Amir Garrett.
He's the best. He's one of the coolest dudes I've ever come across in baseball. He's a gamer, and the part of the bet was that I had to buy him like this fucking really. I was like, dude, you're in the big leagues. Like at the time, I was living in Manhattan. Like I was barely like I could barely eat. And I bought him like this like $500 webcam. And he's like, you know what? Keep it for yourself. And I was like, thanks, Amir Garrett, but I don't know what to use this for. I have no idea what to use it for. So I have one that I'll just give to you. I mean, I bought it 3 years ago, but I mean, it's a really expensive camera.
I have some bad news.
Oh,
Wait, I have the picture, but it's not the one I thought it was.
Okay,
she
so
had
then
another
say
one.
that's the different. So then send me the other
yeah,
one.
Okay.
Get the
Just
white
send her-
picture.
yeah. You two. I mean, good Lord.
Yeah,
Me and Martha?
it's crazy. All right, Tyler texted me a picture, and it's definitely not the one that I asked for. Yep.
I know.
Nope.
I don't even know why you sent me this.
There's
Actually,
Who are you
I'm
hugging, Wally?
I'm hugging you in this picture. Yeah,
Yeah, I'm hugging you.
yeah. But any hug that we've ever had was initiated by me.
for sure.
Yeah, I'm not a
1000%.
natural.
Oh, I can tell. Yeah,
What does
No,
that
I'm
mean? Do I
would seem
feel
very, like,
awkward?
yeah,
predatory. You came
Yeah.
in for it.
yeah,
I'm just not used to hugging people.
yeah. If you initiated a hug with me, I no longer feel safe.
Not many
It's
people were open to hugging throughout my life.
It's the job of a larger human being to be good at hugging. I am a
Yeah.
tremendous hugger.
Mm-hmm.
Martha's working on it.
What does that mean?
I got all
night.
Yeah, I mean, I
I
feel
don't
like
know why
she
she
just
found
has
the
to
other
like
one.
just swipe up a little bit and then select the picture and send
It's
it.
got to be close. It's got to be close to the one she just said.
Yeah, yeah.
I love you, honey.
We all love Martha. She's
I
not
love
the one we have a
Martha.
problem with.
Like I love Martha. She is.
The saint.
Yes, that's the word I was fishing for. Yes,
Gotta be pretty special to
put up with
be the
yes.
co-president of the Milliken Militia.
She has a front row ticket. First ballot Hall of Famer to heaven when her day comes. She's getting right in. They're not even going to have to debate it.
Long after Tyler passes.
I'm good. Give me 20 more years.
Where's this picture though?
I'm waiting.
Everyone listening's waiting too.
Do you want me to
Oh,
say
we're not
mean
getting
things
off
to
it.
her?
No,
Oh,
of course
I'm
Why
not.
would that be?
Yeah, why would that be the solution, dude? I just kind of want to play the Stop and Shop song. Oh, by the way, on the Section 10 Reddit, the listener who made the the flyer for the concert, I was in tears. It is while we're waiting for this picture, or yes, well, it says Section 10 Christmas Party for all of you, not you, Bon. Also for the Jews and atheists and other religions. House of Blues Boston featuring Billie Eilish, Oasis, Alicia Keys, Dua Lipa, Sabrina Carpenter, Jelly Roll, T-Pain, Lil Wayne, Nelly, Limp Bizkit, Fetty Wap, NERD, Mace, 2 Chainz. What's 100 Gex?
They were the first people I said 100
It's like
gex
hyperpop.
rule. You would hate them.
Yeah, I don't know.
Money
who that
Machine,
is.
right?
No
That was
idea.
them?
Paul
That's one of
Wall,
them, for sure.
Hanson, Cameron, Big Boy, Exhibit, David Ortiz featuring Tyler Milliken, Jack Harlow, Cisco, Sean Paul, Sum 41, Weird Al Yankovic, E40, JoJo, Smash Mouth, the hologram version, Waka Flocka Flame, the Yin Yang Twins, Cascada, Shaggy, Vanessa Carlton, Mike Posner, only performing Bow Chicka Wow Wow, Shaq, Mike Stud, Bill Bellamy, Lit, and it says only performing My Own Worst Enemy, Nick Swardson, Story of the Year, Sammy Adams, not performing for Coley, Fran Drescher, I didn't realize Fran got the invite, Chingy, Puddle of Mud, Switchfoot, Chanel West Coast, Tom Green, musical performance by Bill Belichick. And then there's a slow dance competition featuring middle school slow dance classics such as All My Life, This I Promise You, Angel, and Proud to Be an American. Events all day. Tyler, hair transplant, gym equipment to fix Jared's fucking legs, trees with lights on them, but not Christmas trees. A 50-50 raffle, and Zambuca served all night. Tickets are $42,000 each to cover the cost of booking the acts. Remember, Bon Jovi not invited. I mean, what an awesome graphic this is.
Well, I will say, and I there are so many names on it, I didn't catch this earlier. That's not the right Cascada. That's not how you spell it, which upsets me greatly.
Okay.
I honestly thought Corey had made this when you sent it to the group chat. I was in shock.
Yeah, it was outstanding.
Great graphic. Get familiar with Cascada.
I don't know who Cascada is.
Yes, you do. If you heard the songs, they would take you immediately back to a time and place.
So this dude socks things on our Reddit. He's not real. He's definitely he posted 2 hours ago. Still in it? Question mark.
Called it. I knew
Hypothetically, we're still in with 4.5 games out. Twins are set to play Cleveland. Yankees are in Seattle, and Royals face the Tigers. Say Cleveland wins the series 2 out of 3. Yankees win 2 out of 3 at Royals. 2 out of 1 against the Twins. Would be 80 and 72. I mean, this is just psychotic ranting. Like, there's no way you actually believe this. But I did want to shout out 08 Tony Allen, great name on Reddit. That's who made the graphic, and it is amazing. One of the comments said, "No bare naked ladies, I ain't coming."
Yeah, no, listen. For 42K, you really got to be picky.
That's what I'm saying. For 42K, you better deliver the goods. I mean, there's plenty of artists that are coming that are worth the 42K. Like, imagine, when's the last time Cisco performed the thong song in the world, like live? That's got to be
great question.
Yeah, it's got to be decades. It's the last time that Cisco performed the thong song. Obviously,
in Coachella.
Oasis, it's been 15 years since they've done anything. Obviously, they announced their tour next summer.
Yeah,
but that's a long time from now. You get to see them warm up.
Yeah. I mean, Tom Green. When's the last time you saw Tom Green?
Too recently.
Lil Wayne coming off not getting the Super Bowl halftime show. This might be the best performance of his entire career.
Did we book Lil Wayne for this?
We did.
Oh, yeah, he's right there. Right under strike.
Yeah, the second tier. Yeah.
What I will say about that, I'm glad you brought it up, Tyler. They're acting like this is the first time the Super Bowl's ever been in New Orleans. It's there every other year. He doesn't get picked. I love Lil Wayne, but this, I don't know why this one's the shock. It's every time they don't pick him.
I understand being down, recording a video of you saying you're trying to put yourself back together. That is not very Lil Wayne of you, Lil Wayne. I'm sorry. I hate to be that guy. But the whole thing we respect about you as a legend is being a legend, and nobody ever has to sit here and question you. We know what you did for music. Getting online and being like, feel bad for me. This is really hard. Like, we're a little too old for that. I'm sorry.
You definitely didn't get this picture, huh?
No, I'm waiting. She hasn't sent anything.
Tell her to send all of the pictures from that night, and then you find it.
Yeah. Tell her to send every picture in her phone to Jake.
To Jake?
Did I stutter?
No.
Okay.
I don't think Jake has Martha's number. Jake's a dangerous fellow.
You have Jake's number.
I do.
Yeah.
Do you not trust Jake?
Jake, do you want Martha's number?
Yeah, just give me all her photos and I'll find it.
I don't think we're seeing it, boys. Here, I'm going to post this picture of me and you hugging, though.
I mean, that's not the picture that anyone wants to see. No one came for that. Yeah, no one came for that one. So don't post it.
Jared Krabs
don't post
hugged me. It's online.
Okay. You're suspended. No, I'm not going to do that.
Thank you.
Joe Castiglione. I had a tweet that Will Fleming was so kind to read to Joe in the booth on this day that he announced his retirement. Here's that audio.
Outside.
Well, Joe, so many kind messages pouring in online, social media about you. Understandable wave of sadness throughout Red Sox Nation at your news. Two people talking about how much they will miss you and how much you've been the soundtrack of their lives.
Pitch foul to the backstop, but so kind of them.
I think Gerrit Cole, our good buddy, summarized it just about perfectly. He said, "This is the end of an era. Joe Castiglione's voice is a portal back to my childhood and the soundtrack to all of the most memorable Red Sox moments of my entire life. Hell of a career, and a congrats on your retirement, legend."
Well, thank you so much. There's a ball low.
So good. That's so good.
I kept waiting for him to get emotional, like whether it was that or the TV booth, and he wasn't. Like, this is a guy who's just like, I did the fucking thing, like that's it, and
yeah,
thank
I'm done, dude. Yeah, he. It's very funny because he's not trying to be funny, but that's just so funny that
that's
like,
why he's
thank
the
you.
best.
The 2-2. Yeah, he can't stop. He can't stop calling baseball. That's why it's so crazy that he's retiring, because it's just. That's what he does. He's Joe Castiglione. He's the voice of the Boston Red Sox. He's a Hall of Famer. He's, like I said, he's the soundtrack to my childhood, but also my adulthood. He's been there the entire, like, I don't remember a time, because there wasn't a time that he wasn't calling Red Sox games, since I've been alive. So yeah, no, I tweeted, it's very fitting that Joe Castig and John Sterling they went out in the same year. It was just a end of an era all around in terms of like those legendary, classic, vintage voices that have become so synonymous with the two most famous franchises in the sport, the Red Sox and the Yankees. And, kind of what I said earlier about the conversation when Steve was here was I wish he had announced. Like, I think he just didn't want the victory lap. He didn't want the retirement tour and to have it be a thing, all year. But I wish I knew, because then I would have listened to more games on the radio to kind of like savor that. I think when he got in, or it was announced that he was getting inducted into the Hall of Fame, my first thought was, okay, like he was waiting for this and now he can retire. But then when there was no retirement announcement after that, I was like, okay, like maybe it's a couple more, like who knows? Like I have no idea how long he wants to do it for.
The last couple years, right? He was calling half the game. So it was like, are we going to get this version of him that's like, 50, 60%? So we get it a little longer than maybe if he had continued to call all 162.
Yeah. Yeah. But I mean, like now, yeah. Cause I mean, like Lou Merlone was doing play by play and they were trying all kinds of stuff up there. But yeah, I mean, Will Fleming has to be the successor. Has to be.
Easiest answer.
Yeah, he's the fucking best. There is no better candidate to be the successor to Joe Castiglione than Will Fleming. He has the pipes for it. He has the passion for it, which I think, I'm not going to compare Will Fleming to Don Orsillo because they're wildly different. Like I don't think we see Will and think Don. We don't see Don and think Will, but I want my broadcasters to care. I want my broadcasters that when a good thing happens, that their excitement is genuine. That's what I want from all my broadcasters. And with Will Fleming, you get that. When you listen to the call on WEEI and something good happens to the Red Sox, he is genuinely excited, and it comes through tenfold in all of his calls. I've never heard a call that Will Fleming didn't nail. If it's for the moment, if it's a big spot, he fucking nails it. And with Joe Castig, I get, and I love broadcasters that have their signature call. Can you believe it? For Joe Castig, Will doesn't have a signature call. So when something big happens, it's not like I can always just throw out, a fucking catchphrase that I'm known for. He's got to make it unique every single time. And he does. There's no repetition. It's all off the cuff. It's all like this call is going to be unique from that call. And they're all great calls. So yes, I think Will's the guy. I love him and Lou together. I love their sense of humor. Like Will even has like some Brockmire to him, and like because he's like even like today, like he just like he always is talking in his broadcaster voice on the broadcast, but he'll say things that like I can hear in regular Will Fleming discussion. Like today, I think like the dude singing the national anthem, just like it was a nice rendition of the national anthem, and then like he finishes it, and then Will just goes, well, that was the longest national anthem in the entire year. like basically just like, dude, hurry the fuck up. Like, Jesus Christ. Like, he's just the best. Like, I think my first memory of Will Fleming, this is Joe Castiglione's retirement. I'm just like blowing Will.
I know, it's very.
Yeah. But my first memory of Will was, I think, in 2020 when it was like it was a Martin Perez start. And he was just politely roasting him, being like, you know, Martin Perez throws a cutter. I don't know why. Opponent's hitting 598 off the pit. It's like, you know, he's the best. So I hope it's Will that gets the job. But going back to like the whole Joe Castig thing, it's like, yeah, every like, yeah, like we remember the Joe Buck calls for the World Series. But when we think back on them, like when we experienced it for the first time, we were watching it on TV. So our first call that we got was Joe Buck. But the ones that I remember, the ones that get replayed all the time, were Joe Castig. The call in the 2018 ALCS
when he fell out,
when he fell out of his chair, when Andrew Benintendi made the catch. I gotta find that.
Listening to him like trying to pull himself up is one of the greatest things in the entire world. But yeah, I think on the Will stuff, while you look that up, like the connection with the fans, I think is so important, especially with where radio is at today. And he's mastered that. And I'm not just saying it because of what he does, you know, with us for Clark's Catch Up.
That's part of it.
But it's part of it. It's that. It's Tyler, the sign guy who was there at Section 10 Day, like having him on and be like, listen, like this is his story and what he's doing for the fan base. Like to have that kind of pulse, like we've lost so much of that in especially Boston sports, but I think sports overall in the last 10 years or so. Like think like we lost Mike Gorman this year, retiring, taking his step, you know, himself out of the game. Now to lose Castig, it's hard, but like it's the transition of time. You hope the next person steps up and can fill those shoes. And I think Will can do that. And I'll also take the moment. Tyler Murray recently got the job with the Knicks. He had been doing some fill-in time for EEI, you know, down in Worcester as well. We were on TV with him, Jared, but like, you have to have that special connection, and like he's a Knicks guy. Like I hope Will gets to carry that baton and, you know, continue to let Red Sox fans be excited about that way of listening to the game.
He's walked the bases loaded here in the ninth inning. A young superstar, Alex Bregman. Outfielder step to the right, the pitch. Swinging a line drive left field. Benintendi coming on, dives, and did he make the catch? He did. He got it. The Red Sox win. The Red Sox win. I just went head over heels in my chair. Joe just fell down.
That's a man who loves the Red Sox.
What a catch by Andrew Benintendi. And they're not going to review it. Unbelievable. What a play. And the Red Sox lead the series 3-1.
That's great.
I mean, we talk a lot about guys like living and dying. You talk about, can you believe it? But swinging a pop-up is as iconic, and it was because you could tell he was like, these fucking assholes.
Yeah,
like
swinging a pop-up.
That's like, he just so over it. Like, oh, brother, dude. Like that, it's, you could tell he, like Tyler just said, he cared tremendously. I remember when Manny came back after he got put on waivers and was just like, I'm fine in Pawtucket, and he hit that game winner up the middle. What was that, 05, 06?
05.
05. I was driving home from a basketball tournament. Like, I could only listen to Castigs, and he couldn't have painted the picture more beautifully. And he had the call. He had the call like he hit it 700 feet. Like, it barely squeaked through the infield. But he knew he matched the crowd's intensity in the park that day. And that's what he always did. Jared, do you remember talking about the calls from 04? And I only say Jared because I don't know if this technology reached our younger fellas here. Did you? I know you had it, but do you remember the bottle opener?
I have it, yeah. I still have it.
That made the... So, Tyler, back then, we didn't have the internet. You know what I mean? Like, if you wanted to relive these calls, you had to buy a 2004 bottle opener that had, like, when you open the bottle, the metal would play the call from the ALCS or the World Series.
Yeah.
And it was
That's sick.
It was
Castig's call.
also a keychain thing too. I
Sure.
had both. I had the bottle opener that when the metal hit the metal, it would play the final out. It was also my ringtone on my Nextel. The Joe Castiglione final out call was my ringtone on my fucking Nextel flip phone. And then there was also like a keychain. It was like a red block that had like the 2004 World Series champions logo on it. You just pushed a button and it would have the Joe Castig final out call, the 04 World Series.
Like I was opening bottles just to hear, just to hear it, you know what I mean? Like we
I know
hung
exactly where it is too. I could go to my parents' house right now, go find it and have it in 2 seconds.
Oh yeah, I think the battery and the one we had died, and then obviously so did my parents. So I don't know where that one is, but that thing was like my most cherished possession by far. You know what I mean? Like that meant so much because, like you said, when you watch the documentaries and stuff, they always put his calls in it when you rewatch stuff. Even the Sports Center highlights. I don't know if it was a rights thing back then, where like when the Olympics happen, they can only show still images because they don't own any of the rights. I don't know if that's what it was like, but you always heard the radio call instead of the Fox call when Sports Center or whatever would play it. And it was just the best. It was like Tyler said, we've lost Tommy. We lost Jack Edwards for people who watch the Bruins, Mike Gorman, obviously. And yeah, this is just obviously the entire Red Sox TV broadcast has turned over multiple times in the last couple of years between Eck also leaving and everyone else. So yeah, it's just another shot, another man, are we old type moment.
I will say for Castig too, and I don't know if I could give John Sterling this as well. Castig never lost it. Like we got the full version of him until the very end. It wasn't, and yes, he was doing lesser games or whatever, but it never felt like you were listening to someone that the game had like passed them. And that's not always easy for a broadcaster as they get older. And what I also liked was that they left the door open to him like doing some games next year. They didn't completely say like, hey, it's over. Like, he still lives very close down in Fort Myers. He has a house down there. He was like, hopefully I can do a road trip or two, during the year or something like that. And we can have some fun with it. So I hope there is a little bit more of Castig we get, before the actual end.
Yeah.
42nd seasons. He's 77. So he was younger than me and Jared are right now when he started.
Ridiculous.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I don't want to be 77 still doing Section 10.
We're going to be right here,
kind
baby.
Of electric.
If we were just like...
You'll be pissing your pants a lot more, Jared. I promise you that.
I'll just be wearing a fucking diaper. What's up, and welcome back to the Section 10 podcast.
Doing the same intro would be unbelievable.
At 77 years old. I mean, how old is Howard Stern? He's got to be in his 60s, right?
Oh, has to be. If not older.
Howard Stern is 70.
Yeah.
All right. I mean, he's still doing it, and it's not weird.
Well, he doesn't do the same show, like, even close either. Like, he hasn't had someone fuck themselves on air in a long time.
I mean, in fairness, we've cleaned it up, too. Like there was some wild shit that happened on the show for a while.
You talk about pissing yourself to lead this one off.
I also talked about Steve's mother in not the most normal way.
Boom sauce.
Love you, Miss Perrault.
We know. We heard.
Yeah. I guess, but yeah, I'd say we've come a long way in terms of where the line is here.
I've had some stuff cut out of shows this season.
Yeah.
Yeah, our retired bit was...
Which I didn't ask for them to be cut out.
It was great.
I want that on. I didn't ask for it to be cut out. That was...
Yeah.
I had someone at one of the meet and greets tell me I was too PC. I almost knocked him out. What are you talking about?
Oh, yeah.
Dude?
No.
The fuck are you talking about?
PC. Come on.
They're like, I know you're going to watch what you say. I was like, do I? Is that how I've come across?
I've never seen you hold
People
a punch
say
in my
that
life.
to me, too. They'll be like, yeah, dude, ever since you started working for Nesson. I was like, dude, Nesson is a side gig. I was like, the podcast is my job. Underdog. I mean, there will probably come a time where I just don't want to do anything other than Underdog. Like, that might happen. Especially, I mean, because Nesson doesn't give a fuck like what I say on the podcast. They've never once been like, hey, we listened to the last episode and, we really don't want you to say that kind of stuff if you're going to be affiliated. Like that's never happened. They've never.
Even in the production meeting, they're not like, you can't do this. They're kind of just like, be yourself and use your swears when you can.
Yeah.
I mean,
I get the mainstream Milliken. That's what people tweet at me now, where they're like, the old Tyler Milliken would have fucking called for somebody's head to be cut off. You used to be ready to come at people. I'm like, I don't think that version of me ever existed. I was like, I don't even understand what person you're referring to.
Nah, that version of me did exist.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, that version of me did exist, but I think that's not like
I think more calculated now, not anything else.
I think what changed wasn't having an employer or a different employer. It was and I tried to like teach Tyler this. It's understanding like the human element of you don't know who's friends with that guy. Like I learned my lesson the hard way. Like I try to like pass that on to Tyler or whoever's listening that also does a podcast. You may hate a player or whomever, an executive, a manager, whatever. You can crap on that guy, but guess what? That guy's got friends and you're going to piss off those people too. And you might not want to piss off those people. So yeah, I'm definitely more careful with what I say, but that doesn't mean that if I really didn't like someone that I would keep my mouth shut. Like I told you the story earlier about like, I still let it eat when it comes to Gerrit Cole and
Caleb Ort.
Yeah, Caleb Ort, same thing. But like I still absolutely hammer Gerrit Cole no matter what. And I understand that that's probably cost me an interview with Aaron Judge. Like I feel like Aaron Judge, like we know we have enough mutual friends where we could probably make that happen if I didn't make Gerrit Cole my mortal enemy. I mentioned the last time the Yankees were in town that I went over to a player in the Yankee dugout and I said, I don't even know if I can come say hi right now. And he was like, yeah, I don't think so. He's like, I got to ride with my teammates. And I was like, I understand. I was like, that's unfortunate, because I've had your back for so long. And this was someone that's been on the podcast before. And I was like, yeah, that's unfortunate. But, I still root for you. Still hope you do well. But it is what it is. And like, wouldn't even shake my hand. So like, that's a thing. It has nothing to do with like, oh, you work for Nesson and they police you. Like Nesson is, I don't know, 2% of my income, something like that. It's like, I do it because I love it. I do it because it's fun. I do it because I enjoy the people that I get to work with. It has nothing to do with the content of this podcast. No one has told us what we can and can't say on the show.
No. And you can thank the good people at Underdog by entering promo code Jared, downloading the app, and hammering those Trevor Story lowers.
That's mean.
He had a good series. Let him have
Again, a lot of soft contact. You brought up the pop fly that just happened to be a home run there. Not me. I didn't bring that up.
Crazy. Red Sox are playing the Rays next.
Yeah, they are.
We're facing Zach Littell, and we get to remember that he was in this organization for a fucking week.
Sub
They
40
couldn't do
ERA.
anything about it.
I mean, it's not like he's like killing it, but
I'd take him. 373 ERA.
We can use as many pitchers as possible.
He'd be a god.
yeah, he's not bad. Coley, final thoughts?
I feel like I had one. No, not really. I mean, call guys up, try some shit.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't like. I had people ask me like, why aren't they calling up like Campbell and Anthony? And I don't think either. I know Campbell's on the 40. Is Anthony on the 40?
No,
couldn't be. Yeah, adding them like as much as we all want to watch something different, it just doesn't make any logistical sense at this point. Especially with the offseason coming up, you need as many roster spots. You need to protect guys, stuff like that. Just doesn't make any sense. As fun as that would be, but just try shit. the next couple of weeks. I wouldn't hate seeing Vaughn back up here. I know no one else cares. Just let me see some shit. What?
Cole, I'm not like totally out on that. Not, I know I'm now the Von Grissom hater. But with Ref Snyder going down, if they're going to start playing Raffaello, maybe a little bit more in the outfield, and they could do the same with Romy, I don't hate letting him come up for a couple of weeks just to let it play. Because, like you said, he has been swinging it pretty well now for about 3 weeks. It's pretty hard to ignore that.
I had someone tweeted at us like, please bury him for his lack of hustle Saturday. Like, no idea what that
Von
means.
Grissom?
Yeah.
I don't think that's on the radar. To me, like, the biggest thing is consistent playing time, and it's like, all right, well, if you need consistent playing time, it's like we can now push Raphael into the outfield. Ref Snyder's not taking up a spot. You can mix and match with, Romy, and depending on what you want to do, maybe some days you tell Connor Wong to stay there. You put Romy at first and Grissom at second because you're refusing to play Tristan Casas against a lefty. Stupid, but that's how they want to operate. Sure. As long as there's somewhat consistent at bats, why not at this point? I will say, Cole, is that it for your final thought?
Well, definitely give Connor Wong a day off. Like,
Guy's working his ass off.
When they got Jansen, they were like, we need to give Wong a blow. I don't think they've given him more than 2 blows since they acquired him. Like,
That's it.
Let the guy rest.
You can't even give Casas 1 day to rest Wong. Like, give him a break. They're like, no, get the fuck back out there while the guy's learning first base
today. Yes, give him a break, dude.
God. I will say, shout out Chase Mydroth. The Woo Sox played their final home game of the year, and he walked it off with a walk, which is like the most Chase Mydroth thing of all time. Finishes this year, 850 OPS, but a 444 OBP. Crazy to think he walked 104 times and only struck out 68 times. Another name that I just feel like doesn't get talked about a ton, Hunter Dobbins, who's now up at AAA. He's made 3 starts. It's a 3.45 ERA. He's hitting 97 in his starts, so the velo's really playing up nicely. Throws a ton of pitches. He throws the splinker, which everyone talks about with Paul Skeens. He's now kind of added that to his arsenal. So another fringy, back end arm, but you had Fitz and Priester, him, Wilkelman, Zach Penrod. Bare minimum, maybe none of them are big league starters, or maybe they're all number 5s, but they should be some arms the Red Sox can mess with and use at least to help the bullpen. So just something to keep an eye on.
Big Chase Mydroth guy.
Love that, man.
Worcester's MVP for the season, no?
Correct.
Yeah.
They made all their little announcements today for everyone who won something. I believe Chase Mydroth won an award. Hold on, I got it right here. What'd you say?
No one said anything.
No one said a word.
I thought Jared whispered something.
I coughed.
The awards for Worcester this year are Most Valuable Player for Chase Mydroth, Richard Fitz, Most Valuable Pitcher in the Heart of the Heart, Mr. Worcester, Nick Sogard, and the Getty Good Guy Award, Jamie Westbrook. Oh, Bobby Dubba got ejected today. Fun fact, by the way.
Saw that.
Apparently he didn't deserve it from what people were saying, but I was not watching the game.
No, he definitely didn't deserve it. I don't know what he did, but he didn't deserve it. Jake's takes?
Yeah, Steve mentioned it earlier, but Christian Campbell interview dropping tomorrow. We also have Kyle Teal and Quinn Priester in the pipeline, so watch out for those pretty soon.
Hell yeah. Those will be great. I was there. They were great. Campbell's the man. I mean, they were all great, but I was very impressed by Christian Campbell. Oh, shout out to Matt for my Nuttown sign. We're going to be able to eventually get the Section 10 studio up and running, I would hope and assume, and that'll be right there on the wall once we get the studio up. One day at a time. Thank you for watching. Yes, Tyler.
Thank you. For the people who are saying this picture of me and Jared hugging is AI, it is not. This is real, but way too many people have said that very quickly.
Where's the other picture?
I don't know. Martha never texted me back.
Yeah, I thought you meant like after the game.
Yeah.
That's what
I thought.
Yeah.
That's the one I saw.
So you know that it exists.
Correct.
No, it was AI. Now I'm forced to be on the people with the AI.
Right.
It was a back picture. It was your ass in the front. I was actually on the other side.
I got a fatty.
You're kind of built like me.
Yeah, I got.
It's like inverted.
What?
Like my ass is inverted. Like yours is kind of inverted too.
No. All right. Thank you guys for watching, and thank you guys for listening. Appreciate everyone for tuning in, even though the season's cooked. I hope that we can still entertain you. And that feels like the common theme is that people are like, yeah, we don't care if the Red Sox are good or bad. We still listen because you guys make us feel like you keep us company. And you know what? You keep us company too. Because if it weren't for you guys, we'd just be talking to ourselves over here. So, oh yeah, section10merch.com, wearing my Suns Out Guns Out t-shirt right now because the season's over and I don't want to talk about them. Suns Out Guns Out merch is on the section10merch.com store. Appreciate that. And listen, if we run into each other in public, don't mention that I pissed my pants. I didn't. I did. I didn't piss the bed. I pissed my pants.
Correction. I did piss my pants.
Correction. I pissed my pants. I did not piss the bed. I did not piss the bed. Had to get out in front of it so that people present in the bed couldn't weaponize that later on.
I was about to say your name. I shouldn't do that.
I don't care. Everyone knows now. I finally tagged her in the picture. Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah. Okay, love you guys. Bye.
Buenas noches, amigos.